Lummy, I think we're live.
Yes, sir. Woo.
Hey.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show after show. It's where we can kind of get a little naughty and speak a little more freely. We're still heavily constrained, but we can be a little bit more honest and true to the game. Today's guest, we usually don't have guests, but we've been having a couple guests here the last couple times. I like it, especially on people that I know and that I like. And I like this guy. I've known this guy for quite a while. And, he's always been, this guy his name's Matt Heller, for those that aren't familiar. He's he lives in Tampa, and he owns Horn Blasters, which is this big company. The original company that put train horns underneath vehicles was originated by Matt. Matt was the first to market, and there's since a lot of people that get China-made stuff and, shitty quality and things like that.
Garbage.
But Matt's the original OG in this space. But the thing about Matt is not a lot of people really know about. You might know of Matt Heller. Maybe you follow him on Instagram. But you really don't know him as a person. And I thought he's a very interesting person, first of all. A lot of people don't know where Matt came from in his humble beginnings and what have you. So I'm like, fuck it, let's bring in Matt Heller. Matt Heller is as interesting as a guy as I know. And he's my friend, and he's rich, and he's successful. And if I was to be totally honest, I want to hang on this boat because he usually has 15 or 20 hot Instagram chicks. Matt, is your boat so popular that you have girls asking you to be on the boat?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, even just this past weekend, I was getting so many messages from friends. Oh, what are you doing today?
Are taking a boat out?
Yeah.
Did they ever say taking a boat out, honey?
Oh,
Man,
totally.
You should start charging them. Oh, wait, never mind.
Sore subject.
How did you end up doing on that deal? I know they get the police completely threw it out. They started baby facing. They started trying to backpedal the whole 9 yards. They completely overreacted.
Yeah.
You completely did. You documented it. You had them dead to rights. Did they settle?
Yeah, I got accused of illegally chartering my vessel because in their world, supposedly women pay to hang out with some air horn nerd on a boat in Tampa Bay.
And they even said, "We know you're charging there, buddy."
Yeah.
And Matt's like, "No, but I should."
Yeah.
Where's my money?
Yeah.
If I'm getting paid for this, where is it? No one's giving me a thing.
These hoes are broke.
Matt said, "Thanks for the idea because this point forward, it's 100 ahead, bitch."
Oh, man.
If you want to get on the Heller Express,
I contacted the Coast Guard guy, and I was like, hey, man, I think it's a misunderstanding. And he's like, let me get this straight. You bought this boat, and you take these people out for free? I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like,
Have you seen the people?
Yeah. Did you explain to them about the social media aspect of it? And that's maybe an old timer from the Coast Guard can't quite wrap his head around.
I think he understands hot women on a boat.
But
I think he gets that.
But what people go get a nice boat and then charge random people, the friends and stuff, especially come on their boat. Usually it's like, hey, you bring the food, or you pay, I'll help you pay for some gas.
I know some people that do that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Like if you want to come
shit.
along,
That's
because
chicken shit.
Yeah.
That is chicken. That's
I mean, that's chicken shit to say, listen, I got a badass boat and, I need $50, $100 for fuel.
I think he was fake rich, he didn't have a house, he just lived on the boat, so that was his only asset.
Oh, well.
You know what I mean?
And it's different if your friend's like, hey, I really want to go to this island Saturday. Let's take your boat. I'll pay for it or something. But if it's your idea, you're going on the boat. You don't just charge people to go on the boat.
And so they couldn't wrap their head around the fact we need to teach Matt where the cough button is, so he didn't have to make you see the kung fu movie just made, so he didn't cough on the mic.
Sorry.
No, we got a little button. We're very fancy here.
Nice.
Yeah, we have buttons.
Nice.
You just push it.
Yeah, and if you just push it, and then you're like, and then
Hold it in.
for however long you got to clear your throat or cough, and then boom, it completely mutes out your mic. It's unbelievable the technology we have around here.
It's the future.
So Matt, one of his mini scrapes, he started being an outlaw when he was in high school, and he hacked into NASA. And then NASA, the space organization, comes to Matt's door. I think Matt was living in Fort Lauderdale with your stepdad and your mom at the time.
Yeah, Davie, Florida.
And he's just this fucking nerd kid that knows how. Now, how did you hack into NASA?
Doing
Matt?
nerd kid stuff.
There was a mail server send mail exploit that NASA hadn't patched, so it was just like a a known issue that the government was kind of dragging feet on, and it gave us access to everything.
Now, Blitz, you being kind of a computer guy, hack, whatever you are,
Yeah.
do you look at Matt Heller and be like, that guy's got skills? I mean, that guy knows what the fuck he's doing.
I mean, he's a script kiddie. Come on.
Yes, totally.
What's that mean? What's a script kitty?
I was using like readily known exploits that
exploit.
were already out there.
Okay.
I wasn't reinventing the wheel, just kind of spinning it.
Right.
So
Which is what like 99% of things are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but are there real computer, is there really, like Matt, the guys you had to hire for that one job you did that I don't know if we can talk about on air or not, like those are real OG hacking motherfuckers, aren't there? I mean, they have some of those, aren't there?
Yeah, there's real deal people out there. I was never that hardcore or into it. I mean,
Do you know how to get a hold of those people?
yeah.
You do?
There's websites and communities out there.
Yeah.
Hired guns, whatever you need done.
So Matt breaks into to NASA, the space government agency, does some stupid shit. How upon breaking in, was it a day? Was it hours? Where the boys showed up at the front door and your stepdad saved your ass?
The next day, yeah, the next day.
Now, did you go to school?
Sometimes. I'd skip a lot. I got bullied a lot, and I was in public school.
What were they bully about?
I'm just a nerd, man. I still am. I was. My mom's a professional clown.
But you're kind of the Dan Balzerian of nerds. You're
Yeah,
a
but
real.
he wasn't when he was 16.
Oh, that's what he's become. You're saying he wasn't that. You didn't have that Matt Heller swagger back then.
Not at all. I was with 3 women until I was 27.
Yeah, you've made up for it though since. I mean, just the Colombian women alone. Can't wait to get into Colombia.
I wasn't really drunk until 26. I dated a bartender from Hard Rock, and she kind of showed me the ropes.
She did.
Yeah.
Oh,
fell in love.
that's a real veteran right there. Did you fall in love on the first piece of ass that you got to? Like totally just fucking do stupid stuff.
She was tall and hungry, just how I like them, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Did you tell her you loved her?
Oh yeah.
Now, is this after you started Horn Blasters?
Yes. Yep. This was.
So you're starting to roll into some money, fall in love with a bartender, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then what happens? She breaks your heart?
She did, yeah. She was cheating on me with the bar back from.
Man, at least you could go with the fucking pit boss or the manager. Why the bar back?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Way to cut a guy right down to zero, right?
So
Fucking bitch.
yeah. So that was the first heartbreak and whatnot, and we dated again the next year, and she did the same thing again with the same guy. So
Well, that's on you.
That's
yeah,
on
it
you,
was,
man.
Absolutely.
Especially when you're Matt Heller.
Yeah.
Like if you're some broke dick, jabroni, that's one thing. But you're Matt Heller. You got money. You got a lot of great things going on. For you to be a 2-time loser like that, I'm kind of disappointed in your swagger.
that was
It's
it.
not the Matt Heller that I know.
It changed my course forever after that.
So the feds, then you're in high school, and the FBI, is it the FBI?
Yeah.
The FBI come to you and say, hey, kid, you're in a lot of trouble. Of course, they always try to act like you're in more trouble than you really are, trying to scare you. And then they say, hey, why don't you come work for us?
Yeah. I said,
So you were an FBI agent?
no, I had no gun, no badge, nothing like that.
Do you have a business card?
I was technically I was a cooperating informant, a CW cooperating witness.
He was a narc.
It was a narc. I never
He was a
rolled on any of my
narc.
boys. I never rolled on any of my hacker friends.
No, you just hacked away.
Just other, I helped them locate naughty people who were doing kitty stuff.
So they would come to you and say, hey, Matt, there's this this child porn ring deal out of Oklahoma or whatever the bullshit, whatever type of intel. Go in there and crack it. And you'd have to go in there and try to crack it?
Try to locate people. I was on IRC all the time.
Didn't you move to a different state?
Yeah.
Louisiana or something?
Florida's super busy. Their prosecutors has tons of stuff that they're dealing with. So they moved me to New Orleans. I was
And
working out of
did you have to go to?
Yeah, I had to be there
That was part of them,
for jurisdiction or where.
Right.
but that was also part of your deal of not getting in trouble because you had to go work for them, right?
They didn't have anything to get me in trouble for per se. They just said, hey, we know your life's over. You've just been expelled from high school. You don't seem to have anything else going on for you. Would you like to help us? We pay cash. I was like,
Oh,
all right.
and you're like, yeah, I can work for the FBI. I mean, what the fuck? Nobody's going to fuck with me there.
Couldn't tell
And-
anyone.
Well-
My
Right.
mom and my girlfriend at the time were the only people who knew.
Not even your stepdad?
He knew.
Right.
But no one else. Everyone just thought I was some high school dropout loser, and I was.
Would you go to the FBI building or would you just hack from home?
I'd go there to get paid, and then I'd do everything from home until they moved me. We started a UCO undercover operation in Baton Rouge They had a commercial office space, and they had me do all my stuff there on site.
Now, so all these guys would be rolling in with real agents with guns and all kinds of bullshit, and then they got Matt Heller in the corner trying to find these bad guys online.
Yeah, a bunch of college-educated guys in suits that were making GS 3 or 4, probably 30, 40 grand a year, and then I come in, they're paying me 50 or 60 cash.
And they hated you, like this fucking nerd boy over here. Look at him.
They probably did.
And I was complaining about the money. I wanted more money.
Yeah.
These
guys are going out taking bullets and shit like that, and you're in there fucking hacking, making 10 grand more, and you're bitching about it.
Mm-hmm. Totally. But I would see all the money that they'd spend on these undercover operations. We were trying to buy stolen credit card numbers, and we'd Western Union random people in the middle of the night, tens of thousands of dollars to buy these credit card numbers, and sometimes they were just bluffing. They didn't even have any numbers.
I was like, how much of that's bullshit?
A lot of it was.
Yeah, I bet.
And I'm watching us spend all this taxpayer money out to try
and you're
to.
like, I'm really getting good shit done here. I need some more money.
Totally.
We just got ripped off $50K on some fucking Nigerian fucking.
And did they kind of act like it was no big deal, like whatever?
Yeah, you can't get them all, no big deal.
Can't get them all. We only spent 180 grand on that one, no big fucking deal, right?
I remember eventually we stopped using Western Union and we had our own undercover bank account. We'd go through the ATM in this horrible neighborhood in the middle of the night, pulling out 10 grand in cash. They had no limits on their ATM withdrawals, and then they would the FBI agents I worked with would drive around with the money out the window. Come on, anyone want to rob us? Anyone holding the cash out the window, waiting for someone to try to take the cash.
For real.
Fun memory. So I was forging my receipts at the time. They were giving me a per diem for housing, and I told them I had a lease and all of this. I didn't. I pocketed all that money.
You're living with mom and stepdad.
I was living in the truck. No, this was in New Orleans. I was living in the truck off of Jack in the Box, and
hold on, you're living in a truck.
I was living in my Chevy S10 pickup truck, pocketing the extra
S10, not even like a real truck.
Yeah, that's a small truck.
S10. That is the worst. The back window's right there at your head, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
2.2 liter manual, 97 S10.
Wow,
humble beginnings.
Tell me about the 9/11 story.
Oh yeah, and then
so you're living in New Orleans,
and then I started.
You're pocketing the per diem housing allowance.
Yeah, sleeping in the truck. I'd finally splurge on the weekends, and I got a weekly rate at this Crack Shack hotel, and it was $150 a week or so. And I'd go there and shower and hang out.
Yeah, you thought you were big time then.
That's where I woke up on 9/11, and I called into the office. Hey, are we working today? No, just hold tight, hang out. Everything's cool. We'll touch base with you in a little bit. No problem. So I went on with my days after 9/11, and
now, did you know about 9/11? Like, did they? Were you watching on TV, or were you just?
Could you have stopped it and chose not
before,
to?
Like before it happened, did they tell you all about it?
No. What I'm saying is, did you watch 9/11 unfold like all of us did? Or
Oh,
were you,
yeah,
or were
yeah.
you, were you out, doing some yoga in the back seat or something?
Yeah, 8 a.m. I was in my Crack Shack hotel with crackheads all around me,
right,
watching it unfold. I'm like, holy cow!
And so you being, kind of a smart guy and knowing the inner workings of the government, things like that. What did you immediately know that we were being attacked?
I didn't know anything. I recognized they had pictures of Bin Laden all over the agency's most wanted website. They had him
Have
as
you
the
seen
director.
This guy?
Yeah. So and I was like, holy cow, this is the guy. We were just talking about if we could find this guy, but he wasn't online or anything like that. I had the S10 pickup truck I had airbag suspension on it, so full load leveling and an air tank in the back, and it had air compressors, and it made a lot of noise. I was living downtown at this crappy hotel, going back and forth every day on these one ways in Baton Rouge, and right after 9/11, I had the day off. I was near the Capitol reading a book in my truck, and the cops came and they said, "Hey, you have Florida plates. We've seen you driving around the Capitol building." They pop open the back of the truck. It's got all these tanks and compressors. It's making noise and vibrating. So it's, what are you doing? What are you doing here? I'm not, the one rule of Fight Club, I'm not allowed to say what I'm doing or why I'm
you can't say I
there.
work with the FBI.
And
because if you would have got off trouble, no big deal. But you're like, you really don't have a good answer for them.
They had me in cuffs. I'm in the back of the car. Finally, I gave out the phone number 504-816-3051. They're like, what is that? I'm like, just call it. They called.
Baton Rouge FBI, hello.
That's it, yeah.
Right?
All the cops were like, "Oh my gosh!" They're on the phone. I see the guy, and all of a sudden he changes his tone. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Just one moment. And they put me on the phone with the FBI boss at the time.
Like, yeah, I was back here reading a book. No big deal.
She's like, "You can't do that, Matt. That's the one thing. But don't worry. Just come in tomorrow. We'll talk about it. It's all good." the cops let me go. They said, "Hey man, you just got to tell us when you're doing stuff in the area. And we're one team. You got to work together, man."
Yeah.
I'm like,
They probably thought you were some fucking OG because they made one phone call and they got their ass ripped and like let that guy go immediately. So at that point, they really know what the fuck you're doing, right? So they probably thought you were some real OG.
that was it. They let me go. Apologized.
We're like, so sir, we're so sorry.
What
They
did
thought
the
you were
FBI
some-
say?
Yeah, they're like, you dumb fuck. What'd the FBI say to you?
So I went to the New Orleans office the next day, and usually we'd hang out in this one part of the office, but I know the geography of the building. They brought me into the interview room, and I'm like, oh shit. So the all double side.
I'm out on my hacker desk. I'm on the other side of the deal.
Yeah, all the security mirrors and the double-sided mirrors or whatever. And I'm like, oh boy, this isn't good. And then they kind of debriefed me, asked exactly what happened with the police thing. They said, hey, at the end of the day, we were kind of putting a pin in this anyway for the time being. So here's your last payment. Have a nice life. Don't talk about this for 8 years. It'll be an obstruction of justice charge if you do. After that, you can write a book. Have a nice life. And,
So they're basically saying, keep your mouth shut for 8 years. When did that 8 year when? I hope
Next
it
week.
ended because
Tomorrow.
it's tomorrow.
When he was 16 when he
Because
started.
you know the
of course.
FBI is just right down the fucking road from here. I don't know if you know where the FBI in Tampa building is.
that was their new office. Yeah, and
On Gray Street, just down the road. It's beautiful lakefront or oceanfront property.
Bayfront, yep.
So when did your 8 year window expire?
2009. Yeah, 2009. So,
And who was the first person that you told your story to? Like, was it to a chick or was it to a friend?
nobody believed it. Even still, people don't. It's
Be like
it's
that
so-
Matt Heller. You know, he likes to really tell those fucking stories. Fucking guy.
Yeah, I had it on my LinkedIn profile for a bit, and people were like, "This is like a crappy B-rate
who was
movie
the
or
first-
something."
You told me you told me probably like exactly what you were doing. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like I could see that.
I'm having
Yeah.
lunch with Matt. I never knew this. I'm like, so, what's going on? He's like, well, you don't know much about me, but I started out working for the FBI as a kid. As after I hacked into that, I'm like, whoa, I just have a sex tape and some, bullshit going on. You really are hard. I mean, you're hard fucking
Done
core.
stuff.
Yeah.
As fate would have it, my old boss with the FBI, her name's Stacy, her children now work for me at Hornblasters, all three of them.
No way.
Yeah,
That's
so
funny.
everything's gone full circle. They needed part-time jobs, and I've kept up with her over the years.
She's like, oh, you're making a lot of money. Let me send my kids down to you and babysit now.
There you go.
So,
So then after that, but who was the first person that you told?
Meanwhile, Matt doesn't know this, but they're using Matt's Wi-Fi to do all their stuff with.
Yeah,
yeah.
all the government, all
Yeah.
the Ukraine
They're working
correspondents going through horn blasters.
Yeah, joke's on you.
Yeah.
yeah. I never really, I just don't.
But there had to be some time like when you finally just blurted it out because you had to keep it in for 8 years, and I know you're ironclad. So like, were you just hanging out with your boys? You're like, hey, maybe getting high, or whatever. Like, hey, you know what? I was a fucking FBI guy undercover, and I did this. Like, shut the fuck up, Heller.
Probably some of my friends. Yeah, I try not to put myself over too much.
Did it ever help
Bubba
with
can
the
do that
women?
for you.
I'll put you up. I'll be your hype guy.
Yeah.
Like former FBI motherfucker Matt Heller, represent.
On the megaphone.
No gun, no badge, just a nerd.
So
running
now,
around.
Still counts.
It's the day after 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Were you reading like a suspicious book too?
I was.
remember
How
that
to
detail.
bomb the Capitol building? It gets you in
had-
trouble every time.
Yeah, I had a paperback with the White House being blown up on the front of it.
Al Qaeda for
Oh, that's
beginners.
Al-Qaeda for
Dummy's Guide to
Beginners.
Thermite.
Al Qaeda's beginner. All right. So so what? You're out. You got out clean, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You're out of the FBI. Having to do shit for them. And at that point, what happens? So we're talking about 2001.
Yeah, bunch of
21 years ago.
bunch of cash, no job experience, actually they made me part of my job with them. I had to take the GED test. I got 100% on it, so I got a diploma.
Right.
So I had
Prior
that.
to working with them?
Well, while working with them, she set that as one of your things. Like, hey, if you're going to work for us, you need to do this for yourself and continue your
So
education.
Matt just
and
hacked
this and that.
into the fucking GED deal, got all the answers, and
Done.
he scored 100.
Got
right.
the hundo.
Right.
So yeah, I came back, and that's when I had all those jobs. I was just
And you went back to Fort Lauderdale?
came to Tampa. I was in Fort Lauderdale, and my father was in charge of opening up the CarMax in Clearwater. So we moved up here at that time.
Did you think maybe you were going to start being a car salesman? You think that was going to be in your
Carmax is
future?
killing it.
I was open for anything at the time. I came back up. I was told we were going to move to Tampa. We ended up in Hudson, Florida.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
by the way, that's not Tampa.
Same thing. Same thing.
It's close enough.
So that was fun. Spent some time there.
How long was your Hudson sentence? How long were you there for?
probably about a year or so until they moved me to New Orleans to do the FBI thing there. And then I came back to Hudson and the girlfriend. And
now, hold on. Now, did you meet the girl in Hudson, or did you bring? It was a New Orleans girls that you imported into Hudson. There's a big difference there.
No, I met her. I met her before down here in Port Richey.
Oh, that's even more
Port
salacious.
Richey, yeah, that's not even
So
Newport
you got a Port
Richey.
Richey girl you meet,
Yeah,
and she's your girlfriend,
Pasco.
and you're working everywhere. You're working at, that's the list of jobs that you right. And what was her first name?
Heather.
Oh God.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, dear God.
Oh dear God. And those Heathers, man,
Our Heathers,
they'll get you in trouble.
They'll get you.
the name is where those similarities ended.
Oh yeah.
God bless her. Heather's awesome, but she's like this beautiful French Canadian, freckled, red haired, awesome chick. And we dated for probably 4 or 5 years.
Right.
But not
Through the FBI, all that jazz.
Yeah. We'd talk. The FBI had the long distance in the had phones, so I would just call her and we'd talk all the time and watch movies together online, and it was long
All that
distance
kind of
relationship.
deal.
Yeah.
All right. So you come back now. Do you resume with Heather?
Yeah. Well,
Come back.
we were together for a bit, and then we shared an apartment. That's when I started horn blasters in the apartment. And I just had
What gave you the idea for horn blasters? Like, was there some kind of thing that you saw, or did you just what? Because you're brilliant. You're fucking brilliant. You're scattered. You're brilliant.
Thanks.
You're ADHD. You're a lot of things. Did I mention brilliant? Yeah, you're brilliant. But what made you start this multi-million-dollar corporation?
I had that lowrider pickup truck, and there was a guy selling parts in Francisco, Indiana, named Jason Thorbeck. His company's called SuicideDoors.com, and he makes a weld-in bracketry to make any door a suicide hinge. And
The gull-wing kind of deal, so you could turn your your Ford Maverick into a suicide door deal if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
So Jason had this website, SuicideDoors.com.
Right.
He was selling stuff, and I was like, man, that's really cool. I built a very simple HTML website myself, and so I had that lowrider pickup truck. I was in a car club down here in Tampa called Mini Madness. Actually, I wasn't in the car club because my truck was terrible, and I had house paint on the bumper.
Yeah, they're like, fuck you. Your car, your car's jabroni.
Right. Totally.
You can't be a part of Mini Madness, buddy, with that piece of shit.
But I was rolling with these guys. They put on the Slam Fest show that
Right.
happens at the fairgrounds. There.
Right.
And one of the guys had a horn on his car, and I was like, man, that is the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Now, was it just a standard? Where did this guy get this horn from?
He wouldn't tell anyone, and God bless him, because that's what made me pursue
Go
trying
look,
to find one
yeah.
myself. Yeah, he wouldn't tell anyone where he got it or what it was, but I was like, man, this ties into the air suspension. This is really cool. I can get a lot of attention with this. These babes are gonna love it. Not only
Yeah.
does the truck go up and down, but now it honks.
You just put some neon on that motherfucker, and you'll be straight up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
So I finally found a source for the horns. And
Weren't you working at Home Depot or something, so you could also kind of mess with parts?
yeah, I used a bunch of parts from the sprinkler aisle and the plumbing aisle from Home Depot, and just a bunch of odds and ends. And
If you needed a fitting, it was just right there at work, right?
had house paint on the bumper, and it was just kind of
Now,
getting by.
was the infamous Chevy S10 the very first vehicle that you equiped with your with horn blasters?
Sure was.
And what type of just a outlaw 127 deal, like what?
Yeah, I found a
Be
company that
comparable
makes.
to what you sell now.
So it was the shocker horns, the ones that you're hearing here in the studio. Even
That was gonna happen.
I found the source for those.
Right.
It's a company that's been making them since the 50s. They put them on amusement rides and
Right.
and different items. And I said, man, I could market this. So I got a Capital One credit card, went on sunbiz.org, registered the corporation, and started selling them online. My first kit got returned. The guy wanted a refund. He got the horn, and he's like, this is just the horns. I needed an air supply and a tank and a compressor. I don't have any of that. And I'm like, well, you're out of luck. But
I just sell horns.
yeah, I
motherfucker.
don't have that.
I don't got that shit.
He did a refund. I got a chargeback. All of a sudden, I'm overdrafted, overdrawn, and
Because you didn't know what the fuck you were doing, right?
not at all. Yeah, so I'm in the negatives, and I was sweating. I almost
You're like,
gave
man,
up.
this is not going well. I sold one horn and it already got returned.
Return with a fucking bounce back Willie. I'm fucked.
And I'd already spent the money from
Of
it.
course.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
I bought a printer. I bought a black and white laser printer because I can use this for the business.
Sure.
Now I'm legit. I can send an invoice.
Right. I don't have to do a handwritten receipt for the guy. I can actually fucking computer generate a deal. So now do you go at that point and say, okay, I got to fucking make this a kit. I got to find this, so that I don't get returns. I need to sell it all, bolt on Willie. Is that what you did? So you went back to the drawing board kind of, so to speak?
That's what people wanted. They wanted all the fittings, airline, mounting hardware. So I started kitting all of the stuff together, and hornblasters.com was born, and we were finally able to sell an entire solution.
Now,
for
what
people.
was your first horn, the first package that you sent that didn't get returned? Do you know that customer?
I don't recall the customer offhand. I had a couple diehards at the time that were, people don't know why they need an air horn or want an air horn until they hear it firsthand, and then they're like, "Oh my gosh, I got to have it!" So
right.
We got some real awesome friends and followers. I made some great relationships over the years.
But then you said like customer number 6 was this guy from Jacksonville,
Randy Lindsay.
Randy Lindsay, and he had this. What you own it now? Right?
Randy built a couple different vehicles at the time. The first one he built was a 2003 Mercury Marauder. He made it look just like the highway patrol vehicles, added all the Whalen blue and red lights, the sirens, all the stuff. And this guy would drive around. He had a flat top haircut, and he would drive around honking the horn at people all the time. I eventually bought that car from him. He financed it to me through the dealership at 1% or something like that. And it had all the bells and whistles on it. I drove that around for a while, but it was just getting way too much attention. I was getting pulled over constantly by actual police saying, well, "Why do you have this vehicle? What is this?" And I was trying to explain it. It was just too much. So I eventually parted it out and sold it on eBay. The lady called me years later. The eBay lady said, "Is this the Hornblasters Marauder?" I said, "Yes, it is."
Nice.
But yeah, so Randy built this Mercury Marauder, and then he built a
Which
Toyota.
is basically Crown Vic.
Yeah, souped up Crown Vic. And then he built a Toyota Camry that he just kept.
All using your stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all using your stuff.
Spent $12,000 on horns from me for this $4,000 car, and just kept piling it in there. Had it all installed, and then he would drive around in this little sleeper mobile and just light people up with the horn all the time. And he was sending me videos all the time. "Hey, man, you got to put these on your website. I swear to God, it'll do wonders for your business." I was a little shy, and I'm like, "I don't know, man. It's not very savory. It's not my thing. Just trust me, man. Just trust me. You got to put it." So finally, I put it up on YouTube. This was 2006, and it blew up. And that was the catalyst.
So Randy really is a guy that not only bought, a lot of money that, you probably made a pretty good profit from, but also kind of prodded you into letting the public see this, so to speak.
Totally. He was dead on with it. I love Randy. He's great. He went through a divorce and this and that, and just as imperfect as any of us are, we've kind of lost touch. Randy get liquored up and kind of call me in the middle of the night at all hours. So finally I had to block him, and I miss him. He's cool, but then he'd get liquored up and call me, "Man, I'm thinking you owe me a couple $1 million, man. Now looking back at what I've done for you and your business."
Oh, listen, Randy, we got a bad connection. I'm so sorry.
You are breaking up.
You are breaking up.
New number, who dis?
Oh yeah, so now he's like, trying to be like I invented you, and like, trying to
Totally. So
you got to block a guy at that point, Matt.
I have, and I miss him. I wish him all the best. He's up in Jacksonville, and
Mitch Lucarini on the Venmo for $25, and then some smart ass. I'm not even going to mention his name. Keeps giving me 1 cent on my Venmo. So listen, Matthew, you son of a bitch, stop insulting my intelligence. I'm a daytime stripper. I need at least $25 for a shout out.
Didn't you just say you weren't going to say his name?
I didn't say his last name now, did I?
Oh.
No,
There's
you
a
did
billion.
not.
In fact, what if I didn't? Matthew Heller is our guest
That's
here.
That's right.
true.
He's sitting here
very
giving
true.
pennies right now.
Yeah, that's probably Matt Heller's alter ego sending me pennies
For
right
her
now.
account.
Hey, Matt,
It's what
pennies
he
at you.
thinks about the interview.
What happened to your original S10?
I had a customer so Jason Thorbeck, the guy that inspired me to start the company, he had his brother is this guy Ricky. Ricky was a customer, and Ricky improperly installed my horns on top. He like zip tied them to the headers under his hood.
What?
And it melted and burned down his vehicle. So then
You're kidding me.
Ricky's
Oh,
calling
he blamed
me.
you on it.
Yeah, and Ricky's calling me. "Hey man, these fucking horns burnt down my whole car.
Goddamn defect in these fucking horns now, Matt. I want my entire money back plus car.
I'm going to sue you. This is how I get my kids to school up and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I sold him the truck for like $2,500. He flew down here one way from Indiana and drove the truck back up to Indy.
Oh,
People like to fuck with you, don't they, Matt?
It was a bummer.
Do you notice, Matt, the richer you become, the more fucking
More
with,
money, more problems,
more people
perhaps?
start fucking with you.
It's
wrote a
a
song
thing.
about that.
It's a thing. Yeah.
It really is, man.
No.
Like when you, I don't know if it's gotten to this point or not, but like when you make people, when people go on your boat, it almost like you should have a consent form in case they get hurt or something.
Sign a waiver,
So-
get a
yeah.
copy of the
Yeah.
copy of the
Yeah.
license.
Liability.
No, like for real, just because
have a
I
notary
mean,
on standby.
yeah, just because you never fucking know. Some girl
Actually,
slips.
it wouldn't be a bad idea.
It wouldn't be a bad idea, Matt. Just sign here. It's a
You know
liability
a
deal.
JD-Acco.
Hey, man, I'm going to get you a little consent form. Would you like? I mean, I'll get you one drawn up. It wouldn't hurt.
No, it'd be good.
I mean, it's
good
it
protection.
just says if you twist your ankle on my AstroTurf on my fucking, you're not going to try to sue me. You
What
know.
happened with the Dan Bilzerian porn star chick?
Oh, throw off
Broke
the
the
roof.
roof,
Yeah.
broke her foot or
And
something.
Bubba's a notary too, so he can come on
Yeah,
every
I'm
boat
a notary.
ride.
I'll just come every boat ride,
Yeah.
notarize a foot. I am a real notary, and it says commissioned by Bubba the Love Sponge Clem. What other notary would Matt Heller have on his form
Exactly.
besides that one,
Oh,
please?
not to guide your story, but I have a pretty good memory, and I remember when you were telling me about it. But can you tell them about the abandoned house?
Anna, any Iggies you have with Matt, please just jump right on
Because
in.
I remember, I think it was like right when I met Matt, I think we had a conversation. It was probably like 4 hours, and he told me the story that he's telling us now, but in even like more detail.
So I've been squatting twice in my life. Are we talking about the Tampa house or the hotel in Ocklawaha, Florida?
Matthew
It was
Hopsey.
where
Hold on,
you
Matthew
lived with your
Hopsey,
dad.
2501 says fuck Mac One Center.
There you
So
go.
thank you,
You
Matt.
get a place in Ocklawaha?
It was
Hold
where
on,
you lived
Matt.
with your
You're a
dad.
squatter?
You
You got all this money and you squat?
I broke up with Heather and I split up, and all of a sudden I'm homeless. My
But you got money.
my brother Chris is a U.S. Marine. He introduced me to this other Marine, Josh. I wasn't making money at the time.
This is
Josh,
like right at the beginning.
so my best friend Josh was living here in Tampa. He was stationed at MacDill, and he got per diem. So he had a 3-bedroom, but he was only using the 1 bedroom. So I moved into the other bedroom, and I ran horn blasters from the 3rd bedroom. Did that for a little bit. Josh never wanted a penny. Plus, he wasn't allowed to get a penny. So I would just kind of pimp out his truck. Every month, I would get him an alarm or step bars or something.
Some neon or some bullshit.
Yeah,
Right.
train horn, alarm, anything. All of a sudden, Josh gets activated. I have 3 days. Josh is activated and has to deploy to the Middle East somewhere.
No more housing allowance?
No more housing. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I had nothing saved. I had nothing like that. I had no credit. I had nothing at all. My biological father, Tom, who I was never very close with, he's living in Weirsdale, Florida. He has this like auction barn and an antique mall. And above the antique mall, which is in Ocklawaha, it's in a condemned hotel. And my dad at the time, he says, "Hey,
Which
man,
both places are like just southeast of Ocala, kind of.
Right.
yeah, middle of nowhere. It was terrible, but beggars can't be choosers."
You just said you needed an address. I remember you told me that.
Yeah, and so right when Josh got deployed, I was then again living in his truck. He had a Silverado, so this is an upgrade.
Yeah,
You're in
big
truck
one.
living
Full
that
size.
fucker.
I would park at the West Shore Mall here, up on the top floor of their parking garage, to have the windows open because then the mosquitoes wouldn't annihilate me up that high. And then at 6 a.m.
A little
every
bit more
morning,
of a breeze.
yeah, the little breeze. 6 a.m. I'd have to go before security got there. Back in the truck, start the truck. I'd go over to Panera Bread at West Shore and Kennedy there, take my little horror's bath in the shower or in the bathroom there, brush my teeth, and start my day. And I
Now,
was
what year was this?
2005.
Really?
Yeah.
It was that. I mean, even that long ago or that soon ago,
Straight homeless.
you were living.
Absolutely.
I mean, my old studios are just a block from here. You could have come live with us over there.
Would have been great. So I moved to Ocklawaha. My biological father says, "Hey, this is all condemned. You're not allowed here. If the cops come or the fire department, I'm telling them you broke in. But if you pay all the utilities, you're able to live in this building." So,
But I still love you, son. But I'm gonna fucking dime you out on the cops.
Right.
That's
totally.
some real tough love right there, huh?
so I lived there for about 2 years.
You did?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Did you have
Worst-
any power? Did you have any?
Had a little bit of internet and finally got the power running.
Didn't you say there wasn't even a working toilet?
Oh yeah, there's nothing. It was slim pickings. I have a
He has
video up on
videos,
my,
yeah. You showed me videos of what it
Nice.
looked like before and then the after, like what you did. I think it was like, a few months later.
Yeah,
Fixed it up pretty nice.
got the mold
for what
under
it
control,
was.
replaced some of the windows,
Now was
installed
that
some
where you're
toilets.
running horn blasters too?
That
Right.
was it, yeah. And I had these delusions of grandeur because I was working at Home Depot, and I'm like, yeah, I could do all this stuff.
Home Depot up there.
No, I was driving still from Tampa
Oh
on the
my
weekends.
God.
That's what was paying the bills. Horn Blasters wasn't, it didn't launch that hard. This was before YouTube, so I didn't have any of the traction or the videos and people bringing traffic in from that.
No.
So it was just slim pickings, and
It was just word of mouth, and a guy would get one at a car show, and then they'd say, "Where the fuck did you get that?" He goes, "I went to this fucking place called hornblasters.com," and then that guy would go buy one, and then he'd tell his friend, and you're probably doing what, maybe a couple a week back then?
maybe one or two. Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
4 or 5 a month, and you're like, fuck,
still living off Home Depot, working at Staples as well. Still, 3 jobs essentially. And finally, the fire department came and I was evicted. And they're like, "You can't be up here. There's no fire. There's no auxiliary fire escape. There's only one set of stairs."
That was after like a few years.
Yeah, it was a good run. I got like a year and a half, 2 years.
Were you able to bring any ladies back to the condemned hotel? Or
I did all the wrong ones. That area is
the Ocala girl, a condemned hotel won't stop her, buddy.
No.
She's pretty industrial strength.
yeah. All the people around me were horrible. I experimented with some weird crummy drugs at the time. I did the entire Central Florida.
The entire white
experience.
trash experience.
Totally.
The entire white trash, living on a dream. I know I'm going to make it. Fucking, the whole experience.
Yep. Did that and then got kicked out of there. Found a house. I was driving to Tampa to get a vasectomy. The guy,
it's my man.
the guy on all the billboards, Douglas Stein. He's
Right.
got all the stuff.
Now, at this point now, you don't have any kids.
Nothing.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're super young, like
And how old were you at this time?
23, 24.
Did you
And they let
know?
you
Did
do
you
it?
just know that you just didn't want any kids because you could barely control yourself, let
He
alone
didn't.
another?
He said no. I came up with this elaborate story that I knocked up my high school sweetheart. We had 3 kids. I couldn't afford a 4th. That they were, they're
Meanwhile, you don't have any fucking kids.
no
He
kids.
still said no. He knew you were lying.
He said, "Come back in a year." He goes, "If you're serious about this," he goes, "I can't do it right now."
I'll
If-
say,
if-
most doctors will tell a young guy no.
Most doctors most urologists under 30. That's kind of the magic number.
Yeah.
Like if you're under 30, they won't do it.
But you said you had kids already and stuff. So.
Yeah, I told him I had 3
yeah,
kids and a
max.
wife, and I just couldn't afford to have a 4th.
He probably hacked in and had some kind of fucking. He photoshopped himself into a couple family
some
pics.
pictures.
All right, yeah.
The parents were devastated at the time. They were like, "Are you sure
Oh, your
you
mom
don't
and
wanna-"
dad were really mad.
They were, but then they came around a couple years later and they're like, "That was really a smart decision. God bless you. We're happy that we have you. You're great, but this is the hardest job in the world." And
Right.
You may have been onto something here. So,
Yeah, they are. I mean, true.
so they're cool with it now.
But you're quite the visionary, my friend. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You knew that listen, I can't deal with another human being. I like to fuck, but I don't want to,
wait. So you ended up getting it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you okay.
Yeah, I barely remember to feed myself day to day, so it was a good decision.
So there, I mean,
And you got that a year after you first tried to get it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you did. Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Matt and I might be the only 2 men in this building that can say it's really nice knowing that when a girl potentially calls you, it's not yours. Like it's just
You get that
cool.
call a lot.
Oh, yeah. I never,
Bubba too.
No.
never come harder than the peace of mind is so nice.
Yeah, I mean, when you're coming, you're just like, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to be getting a call back from this bitch, and if I am, she's lying.
that was it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They're just trying to get the money for the big A.
For the big alimony, big
abortion.
child- Oh yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, it saves money. I mean,
Yeah.
abortions are expensive.
So I bought my first house in Wildwood, Florida.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
State Road 44 and 75
That was it. My biggest customer, my first reseller
was
the
75
Chrome
Chrome
Shop.
Shop.
David Farkas.
Yeah.
That's
Did they
it.
keep you
Yeah.
in business?
No, they were awesome, man. What
I
an
bet.
incredible family, great folks.
What an incredible business.
Yeah.
Just started out as a little fucking place, and it's now the size of a Walmart. Like, it's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, totally. He was working at the truck. His father, David's father, was working at the truck wash. Got exposed to some nasty chemicals. Got in this lawsuit. Ended up taking the the truck wash from his boss, and then they've just parlayed it into. They
Now,
run
have
that
you
whole town.
seen, I'm sure the answer is yes. And I don't know if it's even still there or not. But when when they used to sell Bubba Army merch at 75 Chrome Shop and my mud flaps and all that kind of shit, well, we went there and did an in-store during the serious days, and they took me to the back part of the property where the big tree house is.
Yes, the springs.
Are you familiar with that?
Absolutely. I was up there last month swimming. They had the truck show. It's beautiful.
Blitz, you didn't even know about this, did you, Blitz?
No, huh?
Behind 70, Matt, help me out here.
Yeah, I got pictures. I'll show you. Yeah.
Behind 75 Chrome Shop, Blitz, maybe 3 football fields. Right,
Okay.
Matt? Not very far.
Yeah.
It's this real dense woods and spring-fed fucking deal.
Crystal clear water, 30 feet deep. They have a zip line. They got a rope swing.
And they
slides.
got this badass treehouse and like this catwalk system all around the deal, if I remember right.
You're spot on.
Yeah, and now do they still party back there?
They do. Yeah, that's.
And does that family still own it?
Yes.
So what's that family called? I'm sorry.
The Farkases.
The Farkases. And they own 75 Chrome Shop still.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You should see this. Yeah, Blitz, you didn't even know about this. This is literally like right behind. You can literally hear the interstate when you're back there. Like, it's that close. It's relatively pretty close to the interstate, isn't it, Matt?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking now. It's in the Green Swamp, like Lake Panasoffkee area.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, Matt. So you're living in Wildwood.
Yeah.
What circa are we talking here? 07?
2006. Yeah, 06. Bought the house for $84,000.
How'd you even get approved, though? You got 6 jobs and your business ain't making shit.
Yeah, I swung it. My mortgage was $433 a month only.
That's it?
That was it. Yeah. So
All
I was
right,
like,
so you're living in Wildwood, but you're still not rolling hard yet. I mean, you're just baby rolling here at this point, aren't you?
Yeah, removed all the drywall. The house was a 1929 crack shack in like a really crummy part of downtown Wildwood. It was a little stabby. All lead-based paint, asbestos, the whole nine. I pulled all that stuff out and I turned it into like the Hornblasters distribution warehouse essentially. And I have video from this too on YouTube. And
But you live there.
Yeah, I was living there on the floor I had air tanks underneath my
I sense
mattress.
I sense a theme here.
Carol Jones, 1,200 stars.
And I was living there until the city of Wildwood said, "Hey, you're running. You can't have these trucks coming and going." Got kicked out. So got kicked out of there. This is when I started dating that bartender at Hard Rock, old Nona, and I met her, and I wanted to be closer to her. She lived in New Tampa, Wesley Chapel. I couldn't afford to be there, but I could afford Zephyr Hills. So I found like a double wide on some property out in Zephyr Hills, and that was as close as I could get to being to Nona. And we broke up the week of the closing. So like I got the house.
Nice.
I moved to Zephyr Hills for her, and that was when I discovered the infidelity there. So
With Zona.
with Zona the Nona. No, she's a South African New Zealand chick. New Zealand and South Africa.
Huh.
Beautiful. Just can't trust her.
Blonde hair, tan.
Awesome. She's just the whole thing. So yeah, no more of that. Lived in Zephyr Hills for a little bit. That was a good run, about 3 years there. Same thing. The city, I tried to put up a new warehouse. It was agricultural commercial. So I had llamas, goats, cows, all these things.
Oh, that's why you had the llamas.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Matt Heller rolls.
And yeah, it was cool. But then I tried to get the new building permit, and they said, this is not an agricultural business. You're running like an Amazon.com. And I'm like, I'm not Amazon.
You wish.
I
no
wish.
kidding.
Nothing like
Thank
that.
you, but I'm not.
Nothing at all. So I had an actual court date.
Matt Bezos.
And I had finally found an actual industrial property at the Zephyr Hills Airport, and this was probably 2010 or 11. And moved in there. So then we had our new digs at the airport, where I stayed there for a few years, five or 6 years, and now we just moved to Tampa in November of 2019. Slow organic growth.
And you can't, in this new warehouse, you can't get your Lamborghini in there, can you?
I can't. It's it all has dock high doors and a ramp. So
and even no matter how long you would build the ramp, you can't get it to pitch the right way in order to get it up, right?
If I found a wider ramp, I could make it happen. They get anywhere from $10,000 and up for those things. They're real proud of them.
So where do you store your Lambo?
In the garage. I have
At your house?
Yeah, I bought Burt Reynolds' old house in over here in Tampa.
Off of Rick's, it's by Rick's on the river, isn't it?
Yeah, just north of Rick's, near the Marina
Now,
Club.
for real, this was Burt Reynolds' old house.
Yeah,
for real.
He owned the Tampa Bay Outlaws back in the day. It was competing with the NFL, and this was like his party pad. Now it's kind of Section 8, but it's the neighborhood's changing. I'm hoping for some gentrification, but it's still a nice little crib.
And what did Burt Reynolds do? I mean, now he was originally from. Did he live in Tallahassee or did he live in?
He just went to FSU there.
All right. So where was
I thought he was from more like South Florida.
Yeah, but I thought this was his fuck pad. Like he
Well, yeah,
came
for
to
the
Tampa
bandits,
for
yeah.
Were the
Remember-
taxidermic animals all his?
Bandits, that's what it was. Yes.
Yeah, the Bandits. Not
Remember-
the Outlaws. Yeah, the USFL in 84, 85.
Remember that studio I worked at in Clearwater, Bubba?
Yeah.
Burt filmed a lot of stuff there
Oh, really?
back in the day.
So did he live in Tampa a lot?
Yeah, he filmed like 4 or 5 movies in Tampa when he was living here.
Boy.
In that Clearwater studio.
Matt, can you imagine? I don't know who got more ass in that house, you or him, but can you imagine the ass that he? I mean, he was Burt fucking Reynolds.
I had to strip everything. It had a like a 30-person sauna in it, and it smelled like loads.
Indoor, was it
Like loads. That smell you got is Burt Reynolds' remnants of load.
Oh, the whole house smelled like chlorine. It was terrible. He had hidden cameras in the walls. There was
Let's not talk about hidden cameras now. It's a sensitive
Surveillance,
subject there.
please.
Yeah, surveillance.
double-sided mirrors, all kinds of.
He was a straight
Fun
nasty.
stuff.
You know how many fucking bitches he was getting.
Matt loves to get these weird fixer-uppers.
Yes, I love a deal.
Yeah.
He had mirrors on the ceiling, and then a
What's
bunch
the
of
best deal you ever got
on real estate or on what?
on anything? What's the best deal that you ever got? Yeah, let's call it on real estate. On real estate.
I'm always looking for fixer-upper type things that I can add value.
Is it harder to in today's environment with this big snatch up of real estate and this bubble? I mean, do you think? I mean, first of all, you're one of the smartest guys I know. Do you think that there's a real estate bubble coming?
Hopefully, I'm just patiently waiting for it. It'll still go back up, but there's what's changed is now there's all these like influencer / guru people, whether it be on TikTok or Instagram, and they're kind of, it's all good knowledge, but now everyone's an investor, everyone's a flipper, everyone's this, so it's just a little harder.
And they're making flipping and stuff content, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of these guys. By the way, because Matt's huge on social, like he's got over. How many?
Got 1 million on your horn blaster.
1 million on horn blasters, don't you? On the Instagram, and I'm sure your Facebook's killing it.
Facebook, we're on TikTok, all of the things. You got to be everywhere, you know.
You really do, but you do it well. Like you do it pretty well. But you also have Matt Heller personal too, that doesn't have near the followers. That's kind of where you keep the VIPs, right?
My actual friends and things I want to post about my life, or if I'm going to dinner and want to invite.
Or you're in
people.
Colombia and you have a couple Colombian chicks,
Oh,
and you
Colombia.
got bottle service, that kind of deal.
Colombia's.
Although I
great.
never see any. You talk about Colombia. I've often wanted to go to Colombia with you, but I'm scared. And when we had lunch that one time, you're like, "Man, brother, there's nothing to be scared of if you know what you're doing."
It's a little hairy right now. After COVID, they're having a little bit of problems.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, because there was a lot of lockdowns there for a bit, and they're having a hard time. The exchange is really good. It's usually like 2,500 Colombian pesos to $1. Right now, it's 4,000.
You know who else do you know, Bubba, that goes to Colombia?
Who?
Kevin Hazlett.
Listen, Kevin.
He always talks about Medellin.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Kevin and Matt both say the same thing. If you know where you're going and you
But
don't,
we
and you're not, and you're no, but Matt and Kevin both know where they're going, and they have it figured out. They know where to go and where not to go. And so, Matt, would you, even though it's a little hairy down there right now, within your world, would you go?
I was checking tickets yesterday. Absolutely.
Tickets are probably outrageous, aren't they?
Everything's high right now because of fuel, and it's just a mess. There's
Ridiculous.
nowhere to fly inexpensively right now. But I would totally take you guys to
How much
Bogota.
was Colombia round trip single person yesterday when you checked?
400, 450.
That's it?
Yeah, which is it
Costs more to go to Indiana.
But
Sure.
I can find you flights.
It's usually, it could be
Secret
200.
flights.
There's
Secret
direct
flying.
flights from Orlando, MCO, which is better, but then you have to Uber out there, or you have to pay for parking, so it's better to just spend
Or you
the
can just have
extra
Lummi
money.
just take you.
Yeah.
That works.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Orlando and back.
Yeah, it's only an hour and a half.
Lummi, if I said, listen, I'll give you $150 to
Done.
take me.
Deal.
There you go. Thank you. I want you to polish my shoes too.
Yep, sure.
So Matt, when you go to Colombia, like, give us the lay of the land of Colombia. I know.
I got
I know.
you for $270, Bubs. If you want to go to Barranquilla.
I want to go with. I want to go with. I want to
Yeah,
go with
Barranquilla.
Matt. I want to go
Yeah.
with Matt wherever the fuck Matt's going.
So,
Okay.
I've done
242 to Bogota.
I've gone all the places. I've done Barranquilla, I've done Medellin, I've done Cartagena, but I think Bogota is the best. The capital. It's got more people than New York. The exchange is great. The weather's awesome.
They got a petting zoo
They have a zoo
that Matt likes to frequent.
When I lived there, I lived there for a couple months, and I was just going to the zoo every day.
It's like, what is he fucking doing?
There wasn't much. There wasn't much to do.
Just feeding carrots to these animals.
I was doing a lot of Tinder dating, a lot of Bumble dating. And
How's your Spanish?
It's enough. Enough to get slapped. That's
good.
I can order food, and I can kind of get my point across.
Angela Hartzell, 25 while I'm on the Cash app.
Thank you.
So
It's 62 degrees there right now.
It's 62 all the time because of the elevation. It's nice and cool,
Elevation.
but bright and sunny. It's 6,000 feet in the air.
Christ.
But Matt, when you say when it's 4,200 pesos to $1, okay. So like, what would dinner cost? Like, let's say you and I are going to go out and we're going to have, and you're going to get off your vegetarian deal, or maybe we go to the Yum Yum factory or whatever the fuck. But we're going to have us a nice dinner. Like, what might cost us $200 here in Tampa. Like, if we go to Council Oak or something. Like, what's dinner? Usually $100 a head if you're fancy.
Yeah,
in America.
Yeah, with booze and everything. Maybe the places I was going to like Michelin rated restaurants, the places where the president eats when he goes.
Right.
And it's cheap. It's $20, $25 for
American.
Yeah, for a wild restaurant experience that like world class dining. Regular meals, you can get food for $1, $2 for a nice.
Now, what about?
I'm looking at this. There's a website now that you can like go see the cost of living and everything, and it says right now like a decent meal there, nothing crazy, but a regular meal is $3.95.
Yeah, that's fair. But it's a really nice actual home cooked meal.
A three course meal for two people at a mid range restaurant. It's about $21.
All right.
For a full 3 course for 2 people. That's good.
Yeah, it's cheap. It's great.
Now, what about? So let's talk about the nightlife now, Matt. Let's talk about you're a single man, so you go over there as a single man. Like, how does that work? Is that,
The most fun you can have is called Gringo Tuesdays, right? And it's
they used to have that on the Power Pig. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's no panties. Or lesbians.
It's a cultural exchange where you go to, it changes from different bars, but you go to Gringo Tuesdays, and all the women there are trying to meet an American. And that's where you go if you'd like to find an American guy. And,
so it's called Gringo Tuesdays.
Gringo Tuesdays.
And it's only on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And you go to this one bar.
Does everyone have passports and shots?
Oh, they're
right
laying
for the picking.
They're laying it on thick and hard. They're heavy and aggressive, and they're there to fall in love and to get out of Colombia.
Are they beautiful?
The most beautiful women ever. They make every shape, size, color Colombian. You can get tall, skinny. You can get dark. You can get whatever. Curly hair, straight hair.
But are they there just, do they legitimately want to come back and, like, be your girl, or they want to come back and run?
Both. Kind of depends. I mean, if you're
like you said, all shapes and sizes, all types of intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They definitely want to come back to the U.S. They want to go to Disney World, and they
want to see the mouse.
Yeah, they love
So
Disney.
USA, Disney World, and then do they want to come back and shack up with you and just, fuck all day, or like what?
They'll do whatever they feel they have to do to get to see the mouse. That's all they want.
The mouse. Now, is there a big letdown after they've taken him to Disney World, which costs more than your entire Colombian trip nowadays, right? I mean, we were talking about the expense of Disney World. Once you take them to Disney World, now are they subservient? Do they want to stay at your house? Do they want to do your laundry? Do they want to fucking run to New York?
Once you bring them to the U.S., they're ruined. They're never the same. You can't show them. You can't bring them here. It doesn't work out. I've got a bunch of friends who have tried this, and
it just always ends bad.
Yes.
How does it usually end? They just fucking leave?
Well, they're usually just absurdly stunning, and they come here, and all of a sudden they're getting all this attention.
All of a sudden, Dr. Diaco rolls up, and he's got himself a new fucking 21-year-old Colombian.
Yep, and no matter who brings them over, now all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, I'm in the land of opportunity. This is incredible. One of my dear friends has tried this, and he just had I think he was 32, and he found the hottest 20-year-old at the time or whatever. Just
brings
stunning.
her over.
Yeah.
She learns her rights real fast because some other slinging dick who's got more money and, probably better looking has just offered her the entire world, and a fucking American Express black card. And now your poor buddy.
Did he marry her?
He did not. No.
No, but and then
she left him after Disney World.
Does she just say, do they just say, I'm out of here? Did they just say, fuck it, I'm out of here?
You just got to watch him. You got to keep your pimp hand strong, and you can't bring him out in public. You can't. You just gotta. It's a different thing. But that's only if you're going for that. If you're batting out of your wheelhouse and you're looking for a girl that you normally wouldn't be able to get, it comes with the territory.
Those are the ones that you just date for the night and then on Gringo Tuesday only, right? Now, when you go to Gringo Tuesday and you find a girl that's just fucking smoking hot, how does she do you have her come back to your place and does she spend the night and then do you make breakfast in the morning or do you make her leave after the shower? How does all that?
It's rare that they'll stay out the first night because they all live at home and they have a bunch of friends and family with them and then they can't be judged. They can go out for a long time, but they all end up at home.
They don't want to think like they're overnight prostitutes.
Totally.
Plus, they probably got to get that cash back to mama, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, there's just a bunch of people in the house.
But don't they all know that they're there and the reason they're there is to find somebody?
Well, there's regular girls, but then there are the working women of the night. There's an area in Bogota called the Zona de Tolerancia.
Look at that.
The zone of tolerance.
Can you tell me that again?
Can you say that one more time?
Let me write this one down for me.
Let me write this down. What's it called, Matt?
Yeah, you want to look up the zone of tolerance. And this is
I like the way you said it.
Zona de Tolerancia.
Yeah, there we go. That's where we're going.
Zona de Tolerancia.
Some of the Uber drivers or cab drivers won't even bring you there because it's a very, very religious people. So sometimes if you jump in an Uber or a cab and you ask to go there, they'll just shake their head no and get out.
Because they know you're up to no good.
But there's an area that the government deems anything goes. And
the zone of tolerance.
Yep.
I like
Red light
that.
district.
We need that.
Yeah, I agree.
Blitz, you want to go to the zone of tolerance tonight?
Well, no, but I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Imagine Igor
I don't want
on
anybody.
steroids.
I don't want anybody to know that I'm going to the tolerance zone. But fuck, I like the tolerance zone.
Sure.
So you go to the tolerance zone, Matt.
It's
now those are the working girls, right?
Yes. There's anything you want, they have there. Whatever you're looking for. There's different streets, and you got to be careful what street you go down because some of them
might get shot.
Well, no, you might go down to a transitioning street.
Transgénero. That's the other
there
word.
You go.
Oh.
I mean, hey, to each its own. There's some guys that want to go down the transgender street.
If they're really hot and tall, giant bolt-ons, and they're craving anal, run. You gotta.
That's the
Craving anal.
transgender.
Only from the back.
Yes.
And you can see their balls.
Now, let's go back to Gringo Tuesdays.
Uh-huh.
Are Gringo Tuesdays pretty much not the working girls? Those are just the village girls who are looking to get a little something.
Yes, which is definitely
that's probably better.
Yes, absolutely. And when I was living there, I wanted actual relationships and friendships, and that's where I would go to meet people.
Now, but when you go to Gringo Tuesdays and you pick up, you go a girl and you go back and you have some fun with her. Now, do you dap her off a 20 or something for a cab fare? Like, how do you do that? Or you just tell her to go home?
I would Uber people. I was happy to Uber people home. Where I felt did really well at the airport in the duty free zone. You can the pinnacle of Colombian culture is American culture, and if you had Jack Daniels, a bottle of Jack Daniels,
big in
Tennessee,
hold on, man. So you could give a girl a bottle of Jack, and she thought you just gave her 3 bottles of Cristal or some bullshit?
You give her a shot glass of Jack. You have the Jack in your house, and you're just like, hey, you want to try a Jack Daniels? And it's magic. It's
so they
in a
think
barrel.
that you're just a fucking straight pimp if you just got a bottle of Jack and offer them a few shots.
Absolutely.
That's as easy as it is?
That's it. That's all it takes.
So what if you... Okay, let me
that,
just...
if you do that, or if you feed them, anything, they're just...
Oh, shit, because they're fucking starving,
they're just
Bubba.
starving.
Really? So, Matt, let's
Just
say
bring 'em a
you
snack.
met this really, really fucking 10 at Gringo Tuesdays, and you bring her back, and you're like, hey, let's cater in some food and then have a few shots of Jack. Does she think that you're the fucking man, period?
Unfortunately, yes.
Now, do you send her home, or does she want to come back?
Oh, no, they come back. They want to come back. They this is their lotto ticket. This is their whole everything.
So
this
you
is what
tell
they've
them,
been
hey,
waiting
listen,
for.
go back home, and then maybe tomorrow I'll call you or some bullshit. Is that how you do it?
Yeah, totally. If not, they'll take the buses and the bus system to come back to your house. It'll take them hours.
No, did they
but
ever
can-
come back and you didn't want them to come back, but they showed up like a stray?
They do. The house I had porteros and door guys, and then that was great. They wouldn't let them in the elevators. They couldn't come upstairs. It was good.
And that is relatively inexpensive by what it would usually cost you. Like if you had a door guy and armed guards and shit like that, wherever you were staying, I can only imagine how much it would cost. Like what's it cost in Colombia? Like $80 a night?
I had a beautiful penthouse in a tower on the 22nd floor, and I was overpaying. I was paying gringo prices, I was paying $800 a month, which is absurd. This is like in the Beverly Hills area of Bogota.
$800 a month.
$800 a month, and that was tax. That was gringo
and
tax.
that was them fucking with you. Like
Correct.
if you would have been maybe a little tanner, maybe you would have been 600.
Oh, 400.
Yeah.
I was getting hosed.
But you knew that it was such a fucking unbelievable value that fine, 800's fine,
And
whatever the fuck.
The location, and that was it. One of the hotels, there's a hotel called Biuxi Hotel. This is where Obama was staying and all his Secret Service guys. And that's $80 a night, $88 a night. And that's like where the president stays, 5-star hotel.
Now that's Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when's the last time you've been? I think you'd just gotten back maybe when I saw you for lunch about a year ago. Maybe.
Right around that. Or it was pre-COVID. I haven't been there since COVID.
Now, you said shit's got a little hairy since COVID?
Yeah, there's presidential elections going on right now, so as well.
Oh, that's right.
A whole bunch of.
So what would your day consist of? Getting up, maybe Anna said she would see you going to the zoo and just, fucking hanging out.
I was on Tinder and Bumble all day long, swiping, looking for normal girls that weren't working women. And then I would.
Did you find any?
Oh, yeah.
Every day?
And I'd go.
Would you have one every day, Matt?
3 or 4?
Really?
Hell yeah.
I was putting up some good numbers there. It was just effortless.
Now, what if it was me and a little heavier, older guy? Am I still going to be okay, or am I going to have to get their moms?
No problem at all. They see all through that. It just
they can see all
right
through
to
what?
the wallet.
They can see They can see if I got a little bit of
come back to America.
Did you contemplate bringing any back? Or were you just so scarred from your friends?
There had to be a couple just absolute fucking smoke shows that maybe you thought about bringing back. Or maybe you're a little bit more OG than I am.
There was one. I'd given her some money so she could apply for her passport thing or for her visa.
Right,
and,
yeah.
Her family was having hard times, and she used the money for that, and then she was just devastated and crying. And
did she say, okay, I use the money for that. Can you give me some more, please?
She never asked because she was so embarrassed. And
how much are we talking about?
$180. She was nice. She was like,
why don't you just give her another $180, bud?
It messes up.
Get hardcore.
It causes disturbance and ripples in the force. You can't. It messes them all up. Yeah, you just can't.
But was she so fucking hot?
She was a very nice person. I spent a lot of time with her. She was super cool. But just, again, the cultural stuff, and there's just too much motive because it's an imbalance of the relationship. The power imbalance is it's just not organic, and it messes everything up. So it's weird. But
he's so zen, is he not?
It's a fun place.
Was he always this zen, Anna? And at Horn Blasters, Matt's always been so zen.
Yeah, I've never, even when things were going really, really bad, he would just like say it with a smile. Like one time he got in a pickle and he's like, "Oh, that's a bummer." And I just remember
when
how are you saying that when you're talking about the situation you're talking about?
I remember when a guy hit your fucking Lambo and you're like, "Hey, buddy," you were super cool about it. I'd be like, "Hey, you fuckhead." You were super cool about it.
He just laughing. He laughs through life, even if it's shitty.
One of my favorite stories that Anna tells is the COVID vending story.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Tell me that story.
Oh well, it was the last day that I worked there because of COVID, and we didn't know when we were coming back and what was going on. And I remember Matt took all of us to the vending machine and just opened it up and just said, "Have at it." So I took like 1 or 2 things. He's like, "Nah." He's like, "Give me your backpack." And he's just like piling shit in there. And I ate it probably all in like 4 days because I was like, "Fuck, I'm probably never gonna see people again. It doesn't matter if I gain 40 pounds."
That's your Matt Heller story.
Well, there's a few other select stories that I really like. That's certainly not my favorite Matt Heller story.
Tell me your favorite Matt Heller story.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
tell them your favorite.
It involves a few cast of characters.
Oh,
I
really?
wasn't
Well,
there.
yeah, let's let you fucking host.
Well,
I'm not going to be the only guy that does the interview.
I like some of these stories.
Hold on, give Matt a little bit of a like an Iggy as to what it is, and then he can give you the approval as to whether you tell it or not.
Ryan Hoppy.
Yay! I like that story.
That's a fun one. Yeah.
That's a good story.
Right.
Again.
As long as Matt is okay with it.
Of course. Yeah, I'm an open book.
All right, go ahead. Okay.
I'm talking about the zone of tolerance over here. There's nothing. Anna, do you want? So Hoppy, for those of you who know, Ryan Hoppy is a guy from Chicago who is in.
He's about 6'9".
He's on the radio. Sometimes he runs the board here in Tampa, and
he's a very important radio guy.
I had Ryan. I love underdogs, and I always just look out for everyone. And I was trying to see through some of his whatever he's got going on. And I brought him to a car show out in Orlando. I had this big Ford F650 pickup truck, and all custom, really cool ride. And I brought him and my buddy Carlos, he's my videographer from Colombia, and Carlos was in the back, and we went. It was what was the big car show for Central Florida. It was, I don't know. Migos was performing. It was like Martin Luther King Day. That's what it was. It was MLK Day. There's a huge car show and parade in Orlando. So I brought the truck out there, and we're cruising around in the truck, and I'm smelling shit. And I'm like, does anyone smell that? And I'm asking Carlos and Hoppy. I'm like, guys, can you check your shoes? I'm like, maybe someone stepped in something. I don't know what's going on. I can smell it. There's definitely something here. Hoppy, no, I didn't step in anything. Carlos, no, I didn't do anything. And we're going down the road, and I'm still smelling it. And then finally, I turn the overhead light on in the truck, and I look at Hoppy, and he's just covered in feces down his leg and his pants. And I'm like, what's going on, buddy? And he's like, I had an accident, and he pooped himself, and it was.
But that's not the worst part.
So he didn't tell anyone about it, and then we get out, we go to I find like a Dollar General that's open, and I'm like, let's go in here and get you some shorts and
right?
Yeah, we go in there, and we're in line trying to get the shorts at the Dollar General, and the other patrons of the Dollar General. Oh, someone smell like Dookie, and then they see him in line, and they're like, oh, he got on his leg, and like the whole store is just erupts or whatever, and they're like, this man shit himself and all this.
Now you're at the Apollo.
So yeah, I'm in line to get these shorts, and the cashier's like, oh, we're out of register paper, we have to close the store. I'm sorry, we're closing, no one can buy anything. And I'm like, I need these clean shorts, I don't know.
Were you like, I'll give you $1,000?
Something, yeah. I don't know if we shoplifted them or I don't know what happened. We got the shorts somehow, and yeah. But Ryan pooped himself, and
Bubba.
Wait.
Ryan didn't shit himself in Matt's car. Ryan shit himself and then got into Matt's car.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know any of this at the time. Yeah, he tried.
I'm like, oh, that's worse.
Yeah, that's way worse.
It's almost a premeditated shitting.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you're in a guy's car and you have a shit attack, okay, you're in the car.
Right.
You're in the car. I've often had like an uncontrollable. Oh my god.
But if you feel something, say something.
Yeah. Like so, if you're with your buddy and you're in his car and you're like, hey, I got a shit. Well, he maybe could pull it over. Maybe you shit on the side of the road.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you pre-shitted and then got in the car,
right,
and then checked your shoes, like when Matt's like, hey, can everyone check their shoes? And you're like a fucking asshole.
Not on my shoes.
Checking your shoes.
Because he's like a size 17 or something. He has these just heinous high top shoes that you sell at Ross.
How do you shit yourself?
And he had a pot roast size shit in the shoe and like in the sock area.
Oh,
didn't you say? God. And then you're like, Brian, why'd you do this? And didn't you have like? He's like, I had too many bears and tacos.
That's what it was. Yeah, I was hungover. But it was so gnarly.
I've been hungover plenty of times. Never done that.
I've only shit myself twice. And it was, and you could feel it coming. Like you can literally have the pain is so bad that you can't hold it back. Usually,
it's bubbling.
It just starts percolating, and then you're like, "Oh my god, I can't."
But you didn't say, "Fuck it, I've already shit myself. I'm gonna get in this guy's car. We're gonna drive back from Orlando."
No,
like
no
one's
party's
gonna.
over.
I didn't shit myself.
Know.
I didn't shit myself. Try to undercover and then get in my buddy's car.
Yeah.
And then deny
acting
the
like
shit
no one's
myself.
gonna know you fucking shit yourself.
Like if you went to pick me up and like, hey Blitz, you're gonna have to like give me. I just shit myself. So
well, thanks for telling me, man.
Okay,
what do you need?
Well, I'm gonna go back upstairs and try to clean it all up. And can you give me 5 or 10 minutes?
Sure, yeah.
All right, it's better than sitting in shit all the way to Orlando.
Exactly.
I mean Matt's a very
like
reasonable
no one's gonna
person.
Know.
Matt's a very reasonable person. Even if he's running a little bit behind, he'd prefer you to go take care of your shit before you step foot in his car. You fucking buffoon.
Friggin' Hoppy, man. It was everywhere on the doors, the seats, the floor.
And you still remained friends with him for long after that.
Yeah, I tried.
I was like, what are you doing, buddy?
So I got my I was going to tell you my Greek story, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm a freshman at Indiana State, and my roommate is this guy named Tasos, and he's from Greece. And there was this community, not the Greek community as in sororities and fraternities, but actual Greek. Real Greek. And so the Greeks would all get together. The people from Greece would get together like once a month and, have like a little house party or something. Right. So, I went to, Tesos got so, I had a car and he didn't. And he got so drunk at one of these Greek parties, like the second one or third one of the year that he'd been to. I went to go pick him up. Well, I saw all these fucking Greek, I go to pick him up, and there's all these hot Greek women, just beautiful complexion, just Greek women Greek women can be hideous, but Greek women can also be very beautiful.
Yes.
Especially ones that are 19 years old and in college.
And have two separate eyebrows.
Right. Yeah, there's actually, at least a quarter inch between the eyebrows. Yeah. And so I'm like, Tesos, these are those are Greek women, I'm like, oh fuck, can I come to the next party? He's like, yeah, but I'm gonna have to teach you a couple of, things to say. I'm like, okay. So for an entire month, I had the bottom bunk and he had the top bunk. I wonder why, because I'm the bigger guy always stays on the bottom. And he would have me practice these two sayings. And so one saying was what I say to men, and the other saying is what I was going to say to women. And I was going to stick to just those two things. And I was going to be, they all knew that I was a guest of Tezos. And that I was an outsider, but he was going to bring me anyway. And so I was supposed to go up to every guy and say, Agamisu Malaka. And he was telling me that was nice to meet you. And then I was supposed to go, and these are the only two phrases I know in Greek. And the other one was Thena kaso glipsamuni, which I think is something about I want to suck your pussy. and so to the women, I'd walk up and say, Thena kaso glipsamuni, which means I want to suck your pussy. And to all the other guys, I was calling them, I think Matt, fuckheads. It isn't agamisu malaka like fuck you, fuck off.
Malaka is like something masturbate.
Malaka's jerk off, yeah. So it's like fuck off, jerk off. Like it was. So I was basically going and telling all the guys, and I thought I was being friendly. I'd see a guy go like, "Hey, agamisu malaka," and they look at me and I go to a girl, "Hey, thena kasoklip samuni," and they were there, and I wasn't really getting the response that I was thinking I was supposed to be getting here.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, I've been there about 40 minutes. And I'm over there by the beer.
You told all the women you want to lick their pussies and all the guys to go jerk off.
Yeah, I did. Jerk off.
So all of a sudden, and I'm just kind of really nobody's paying. And Tesos really isn't paying like any attention to me. He's kind of lost into the crowd. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of the lone ranger there. Finally, these two big fucking Greek guys walk up and said, "You got to leave." I go, "What do you mean I got to leave?" He goes, "You've been very inappropriate to people." What do you mean I've been very? I've told the guys hi, and I've told the girls. I think he told me that. I was telling the girls, nice to meet you. You look very beautiful. That's what I thought I was telling them. And the guys were like, well, you've been telling all the guys to fuck off and jerk off, and you've been telling all the women you want to eat their pussies. So your welcome's pretty much worn out of here.
Yeah.
And he kicked me out of the party. That's the only, and I don't know if I was even saying it correctly, but I think I was saying it
well enough for them to understand what you're saying.
Well enough for them to know that they know I wanted to eat their pussies.
Just enough Greek to get kicked out and slapped.
Just enough Greek to be creepy. Just enough Greek to be creepy. So, Matt, out of all the other places that you've traveled, is there anything that has the same dynamic as Colombia? Like
Colombia's been the best. There's nowhere else in the world like it.
That's so funny. That's what Kevin says too.
Mm-hmm.
But where he's going, if he's going to Medellin,
he's going to Family Deal. He's not going to Gringo Tuesdays.
No, he's not going. He's not going to that. But
he's going fishing.
Yeah, he goes fishing. He'll get like, he'll hire a captain to take him, fishing, so to speak. By the way, he's got his kids and his wife with him, so I'm sure that he's not doing the same recreational activities, Matt, that you are.
Gotcha. Yeah, a lot of folks go to Costa Rica for stuff like fishing.
I went to Costa Rica one time with Jimmy Clevis, and it was just. It wasn't even fun.
No.
Like
what the fuck?
As far as getting whores. Yeah. It wasn't even fun. No, because there has to be a tinge of...
There's all kinds of surfing.
What about, like,
nice.
Hold on. Listen,
beaches and
oh, fuck that. We were trying to pick up whores. And so... But there's got to be a certain little bit of hunt involved. A little bit of resistance.
Oh, you didn't like it because there was no hunt?
There is no...
Because everyone was just like, take me.
Take me,
like, so you'd walk into the bar and they would
por
like...
favor,
they would
Mr. Baba.
And then they would literally be throwing themselves on you and be like trying to undercut each other's prices and all this kind of bullshit. And then you try to get the really good looking one, but she wasn't a good fuck. The good looking ones weren't good fucks, and the bad looking ones were good fucks. because they had needed to earn their money and get to business, and I only fucked 2 of them, and I just did not enjoy either one of them.
Biggie 7375
Oh my
$25 super
God.
chat.
Thank you for the super chat. I mean,
So you've written off the entire country
well, I mean,
Because they're too easy.
Yeah.
because they're whores. I thought that's what you wanted.
well, you kind of want a little, a little
Pushback?
just a.
Oh, so that you can feel like you
Accomplish something.
I mean, you
Yeah.
they would be like, "You take me back now." I would be like, "Well, we just got here, and I was thinking."
Oh, so you're playing the,
Can I
the
eat some
prudy
dinner
bitch?
first?
Well, no. So there's this one place, and they had really good food. It was really good seafood, and they would be like the whores would be. They would be everywhere, from the bars to the restaurants. And so as soon
From the
as you,
windows to the wall, if
and
you will.
and you'd walk in there and be like, "You want company?" And be like, "Yeah, I do, but I'm gonna have some dinner. I will be waiting." Like, so the minute you get done, they're already.
She was
fucking
Ukrainian
Yeah,
too.
she-
I
Russian.
don't know what the fuck they were. I had one really, really hot one, and she couldn't fuck. And then I had a kind of a decent.
What do you mean she couldn't fuck?
The hot ones can't fuck you.
What do you mean?
Because
They
they're
just-
hot. They don't got to fuck.
I
They
don't
just
know.
lay there.
Yeah, they're just getting paid for how good they look. Matt probably doesn't want to get the ins and outs of the whoring like as much as I do. He doesn't want to incriminate himself like me.
My parents are listening, but they know. They know. I did Bangkok, Thailand. Did not love that. That was
Did not like it at all.
Well,
no.
No.
They're way too pushy.
Kind of
again,
like the way I felt with Costa Rica.
yes,
And what was that street that you had to avoid? Because
Khao San Road.
that where the lady- is that where the lady boys
in
are?
in Bogota that you
In
said
Bogota,
you
yeah, the zone of tolerance.
No, you made like a joke about like trans or whatever,
Matt-
but you
Matt
got to
was-
worry about that.
Transgénero.
Yes,
Yeah.
you got to worry about that a lot in Southeast Asia.
Totally. All
It's
the hot,
happened
all the
to
hot
my-
ones are guys.
It happened
So,
to all
Matt,
of my
for
friends.
real, for
all
real.
of my friends.
Even if you're like 1,000% she's a girl, I know she's a girl, she looks like a girl, she doesn't have an Adam's apple, she's beautiful. Chances are she might have our same equipment.
Oh, totally. There's surgery for all of that, and the Asian ones, it costs nothing. The only way to really get out of the situation is to be a hot woman. So everyone aspires to be a hot
or
woman.
bang
so
a tourist.
Yeah.
That happened to my
No.
friend so many times, and he was so lucky that there was a tuk-tuk driver who was basically like a taxi driver, and he tried to go home with this chick, and the taxi driver refused to take him. He's like, "No, not." And then he turned around, and he's like, "This motherfucker." And then he's like, "Why don't we go back to your place?" And she's like, "No, no, no." And then she just ran away because it was a lady boy.
Yeah, it's super high pressure in Thailand as well. The first night I got back to the hotel, I had 6 girls with me, and we're all just.
How many were actually girls?
No, they're all chicks, but
Oh.
I'm sitting
Now,
in
Matt,
there.
do you ask them, are you a girl?
I could tell they're all short. If they're short, you're fine.
Okay.
But if they're tall and hot,
Now, do you
run.
make them sometimes show the downstairs willy? Like, do you do that?
You can just tell. It's
Right.
just the
Let's play a
thing. Yeah,
game.
if they're too hot, then yes, they're dudes.
Right.
So I had 6 of them back in the bed.
6 girls.
And we're all just talking. There was some I'd see that have like little spots or something. No, you can go home. You're dismissed. You can go.
Oh, some
That's just
spots.
little
Oh,
rash or
Jesus.
something.
Like MRSA or some
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But
MRSA.
I ended up just the first night we're just hanging out and like talking. We're all like crying together using Google Translate, like talking about life stories and stuff in bed. So it was weird. They're just really high pressure.
Matt
They have
Heller is in bed
scabies.
with 6 ladies, 2 of which got scabies and sent home using Google
That's what
Interpreter.
you're worried about?
That's motherfucking Matt Heller for you right there.
Talking to them about their life, yeah, and I was just like, oh my gosh, and they
No, but those
Yeah,
bitches,
talk about their life. How's
those
their
bitches
English?
all want to come back. Like, they really want to come back, don't they?
it's make or break. It's do or die. They
No.
have to. Yeah.
Now, could a guy be doing good right now in Ukraine if you went to Ukraine, or could you be
Yeah,
doing
Ukraine. You been there?
Yes, Kyiv, hottest women I've ever seen in my life. That's like
for real?
That's what I
Yes,
hear all the time.
Absolutely, that's the Vegas for Russians. Russians will go there and get away from their family and spend all their money in Kyiv and party, and that's like you
No
can
wonder
get
they
anything
want to
you
take it over.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
it's
Russia
incredible.
just wants to get
Yeah.
Vegas back.
Yeah.
So Kyiv, you were there obviously not during these times. How long ago were you there?
Just before COVID. I was July 2019.
And is Kyiv comparable to Bogota or
Yes,
Medellin?
and the exchange is incredible, and the women are beautiful. It's awesome.
Same deal where you can meet a local girl and hang out with her for a few days.
Totally. The airport is about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour away from the city central. So I took an Uber for this 45 minutes to an hour, and it was $1.83 for the Uber.
U.S.
Yeah, U.S. The minimum.
Did you round it to 2 for the poor guy?
Just like Colombia, the minimum charge is like $1.80, $1.90 or something. So I mean, you can ride around all day, and it still bills you just $2 or so.
And so, your first night in Kyiv, give me your Kyiv story. Like, how do you know where to go? Do you travel with anybody? Do you have a friend? Did you scout it out before? Do you have a local?
Google Maps and just looking online. And then I got there a little early. I was headed back from Israel, and I had a layover there for like 2 days. So I just wandered around. Actually, I ate at this restaurant called Under Wonder. It was incredible. It was like 5-star, and it cost nothing. It's a 24-hour restaurant.
Now, is this an example of some Kyiv women right here?
Even hotter. They're even hotter than that.
There's Matt Heller right there in the
middle. There's tons of different.
Now, what's their language like? I mean, do they?
Anyone hot speaks English. Everywhere I've gone, if everyone understands English. I'm going to say this, and I'm not trying to sound like a starts with the Z word? Xenophobic. Yeah, but I mean, like, we have the best music, we have the best movies. Okay. If you want to be entertained, you gotta know English.
Look at that blonde.
That's pretty accurate.
That's right there.
Yeah.
Now, what are these three saying to you, Matt? Like what?
Green card? Yes.
Yes, green card.
Mickey Mouse, yes.
Mickey Mouse, yes. And you're like, yes to all of that.
Yep.
Wow.
They party hard, and the exchange is great there. I like, I've done stuff like Costa Rica where you go to, it's like very nature-y and whatnot. That's fine, but I'd rather go somewhere where.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
I'd rather go somewhere. I like hot whores.
Let's go to the nightlife.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'd rather go places you can spend money that are strong
Matt says,
U.S. dollar.
I don't want to fucking hang 10 on a surfboard. I want to party with these two bitches.
Yeah, you get
for $8.
Good exchange. That's it.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, there's nightclubs. They party hard.
Now, are you safe there?
Totally. Yeah, I mean, like anything, situational awareness. Don't be drunk peeing in the street. Don't wear,
don't wear a bunch of
fancy
jewelry.
Yeah. Just be respectful and aware of your surroundings. I've never had any problems. Colombia's cool. Kyiv's
now, are
great.
you afraid that their brothers are going to show up with an AK-47 if you take them back to your room and or none of that? You don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah, I never stressed it, and again, just good.
Look at that
situational awareness. Just got to be aware, if it's too good to be true. I mean, I've had more close calls.
Now, do they like Americans?
Tampa.
Everyone. Tampa's been
close. I have close calls in Tampa.
Tampa's a lot sketchier than anywhere I've been internationally.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
So if you can roll around with bitches here in Tampa, you can handle the Kyiv bitches, no problem at all.
Absolutely. Yeah, Kyiv is great. Can't wait to go back there.
Now, as soon as they hear you're, as soon as they hear that you're an American, do they laser lock on you?
They can see it from your shoes, the way you walk, the way your outfit is. They can tell everywhere. I mean,
What if I'm wearing elastic shorts and a basketball shirt, like I always like, the standard Bub? What if I got a picture of myself on myself?
You definitely don't look European in the least.
Yeah.
Do I look American? I look like a fat old American
guy. You look like you're from Indiana.
We all look American.
Oh, look at this right here, Blitz. That's
a little. I don't know about that one.
Is that legal? Is that might
I
not
don't
be
know.
legal?
Matt gave me a look like I don't think it's legal.
Oh dear God, Bubba.
Right there, is that legal?
That should be all right.
That should be okay.
You know what? I don't fucking know.
20. She's 20.
20.
Yeah.
She wants to get her shots and a green card and be the secretary of Horn Blasters.
And the drinking age there's what, 18? So
four.
Yeah.
Probably.
4.
So Matt, like, what's a nice hotel in Kyiv cost with bottle service in the nightclub?
60 a night for 5-star awesomeness.
60 a night for the hotel, and then what's bottle service cost? Are you getting bottles?
$100. Yeah,
it's $100 all in.
Yeah,
$100 all night long.
Yeah, $100 you can party like a rock star for $100.
They have bottle service, and then the girls they just go to the bottle service.
And not to hop around too much. The only better place, Prague. Prague is a lot of fun too, and the exchange is great there. You don't spend any money. They party all night long. No one cares about how old anyone is. As far as I was 37 or 38 when I was there, but the younger girls in their 20s were still fine with whatever.
I got to tell you, the biggest fuck up of my career is my buddy's name is Alex Young, and he was the youngest president of Fox Studios in the history of Hollywood. You can Google him. His name is Alex Young, and he at one time was the president of Fox, the motion picture division of Fox.
Right.
And they were taping the last Bruce Willis movie in, I forget what country it was, but Bulgaria. In Bulgaria. And he, Alex Young, is the president of Fox at that point, and he was listed as the executive producer on, was it Die Hard or Die Tryin' or something like that?
Yeah, it was one of those.
And this was when I was on Sirius XM, like circa 07, 08, and he's like, Bubba, and now this is Alex Young, and when you're the president of the movie company that's making the movie, and you're the executive producer of the film, like, you're God. Like, you know, on the movie set, you're God. And so I'm talking to Alex, like, listen, get a plane ticket to, I think it was Bulgaria. I think, what's the capital of Bulgaria?
Oh, I don't know.
Lummy, see where that movie was shot. Bruce Willis's last Die Hard movie, because it'll tell you the country that I'm thinking of.
Sofia is the capital.
And if you look at that, if you Google or Wiki where that was shot, it was Hungary.
It was Expendables.
No, it was Budapest. It was Budapest.
Not the movie.
No,
I think you're right. I think it was Hungary.
It was Budapest, Hungary.
Yeah,
that's where it was.
Because I remember that.
It was Budapest, Hungary. And he's like, listen, you don't understand. First of all, you're going to have your own chair that has your name on it, sitting right beside me on the set of, and when you walk through the hotel room, all these bitches literally think that you're a fucking movie star, even though you're just, you know, my buddy on the set.
Yeah, but then I got to sit in a plane for how many hours? International plane.
I'm
not doing that.
No. It was, I had to get over their commercial, but still, I talked myself out of it. And Alex was like, listen, the studio will pay for your hotel.
Yep.
You'll be staying in the same hotel as Bruce Willis and all the crew. And you don't understand, at the end of taping, and each day we go down to the bar or a restaurant, and you can have any fucking woman you want, because they all think that you're part of the movie. They don't fucking know. And so, you know, and Matt, do you think I probably pretty much fucked up on that, don't you think?
Yes, always say not always, just never pass on any international travel and exploring stuff. Life is short.
I wasn't going to explore anything other than some hot Hungarian, you know, bitches.
Ass.
Let's go to Bogota, man.
Lummy, can you throw me the average Budapest girl? What's women from Budapest look like? Matt, have you been to Hungary?
I have, yeah. I've done Buda and Pest.
And how was Budapest?
I didn't love it of all the places I've been, but
you didn't like it.
It was cool. I was there for only about 3 days.
But you weren't the guest of Bruce Willis either.
Exactly, yeah. You did it a little different.
Do you think that would change things though?
Oh yeah, everywhere. People are just looking for status.
Are Hungarian women not naturally as beautiful as the?
They're pretty hot.
The Kiev bitches.
They're hot. The Kiev chicks just work on them, like anywhere, but they're just like professional women who just work on themselves constantly, jogging every morning.
All right, I can deal with that.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt, I've seen that on your boat every Saturday, you know, for the last year.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Budapest is okay. I had more fun in Prague, and the exchange was great in Prague.
I'm not feeling the Budapest girls.
Yeah, I didn't love it there. The strip clubs were incredible in Prague. That was another $100 for a couple bottles or bottle or so, just not overpriced.
Where's Prague at? What country is that
in? It's in Czech Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Czechoslovakian chicks, right?
Mm-hmm. They're lovely.
They love Americans too. Out of all the places that you've gone, which country loves Americans the most?
Colombia.
By far.
Absolutely.
Wow, I didn't even hesitate.
Yeah, all day.
Let me, what's this? This is the Prague girls? This is Prague girls. Oh, yeah, look at those girls.
Mm-hmm.
There's Matt Hiller in the middle, although I don't think he'd be caught dead with a bow tie. Nice outfits, too, huh?
Yeah. They're great. It's cheap. That's a fun place. But
now,
Colombia is still the best.
Now, my buddy was telling me in Iceland. Have you ever been to Iceland?
No, I've not.
That happens to be, like, culturally, and I could be wrong, but culturally, in Iceland, it's customary or culturally accepted for the women to be the aggressors, and so the women will ask you out on a date, and they expect sex.
Oh, boy.
In Iceland, and I think that Iceland has the highest rate of women to men ratio in the world. You guys can check me out on this. But, I mean, then again, it's Iceland, and I don't think they really have a big window of nice weather.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty shitty over in Iceland.
It's not great.
I think they might have like 6 weeks of something above 60, maybe at the end of the day. But
According to this, it's pretty even. It's 50-50.
Oh, it is?
Which is not normal for most countries, but yeah. 101 men to 100 women.
There's
now,
more men.
Well, now in 2022, that's the data that just came out.
Oh, my buddy said it was like 96 men to every 100 women. Is what it, so there's statistically there's what's America's gender breakup?
I think it'd probably be 50-50.
Is it 50-50, you think?
I don't know. I don't think so, though. You'd expect that, but I think
there's a tad. I think there's a tad more.
Yeah, it's 105 to 100.
Oh, really?
Women to men.
Men to women.
So you really, at least you have something to look forward to when you go to the old person's place because there's more women there than guys, and they're real. And the older women are predators. Do you sell any horns at the villages, Matt?
Yeah, for the golf carts, totally.
Those old people could probably get mad as fuck if you come up if they're. They probably shit their pants, poor things. Matt Heller, our guest today. Matt, I think we've had quite the time with you today. I think we got some Matt Heller insight. And if anybody would like to know more about Matt Heller, you can always go to hornblasters.com. His Instagram is the same. I think your Facebook is the same. Your TikTok is the same. It's all at Hornblasters, is it not, Matt?
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Any specials on horns today, or just the standard deal? What's the most popular horn? Probably the Shocker.
Yeah, the Shocker, the ones you're hearing here.
The XL2 2-gallon train horn kit.
Yeah, I call it the conductor special. It sounds like a train, and it's a third. We sell the actual train horns, but then this sounds almost as loud, and it's a third of the cost. Also, it's a lot easier to install on a car or truck.
But on the other end of the spectrum, like what's the most,
I showed you, we have that Battleship horn we just did for Whistling Diesel.
And that's like 4,100.
Yep.
Right?
You can hear it for 8 miles. So there's that.
I think my racetrack has one of these big truck shows, July 2nd and July 3rd at my racetrack.
Nice. I'll get you a horn for out there, too, so you can get everyone together, get everyone's attention.
Blitz, I could use a horn on top of the scoring tower.
Hell yeah.
But what would you use it for? Be
annoying?
And the 14 wins.
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah.
Warsaw Tigers.
What's that?
Said Warsaw Tigers.
Now, Matt, what's the difference in horns from like the Lightning use compared to I know that you have the horn system where the Falcons play.
Yeah, everyone all these different franchises, they all kind of want their own sound. We did the Joe Louis Arena, the Atlanta Falcons, where the Georgia Bulldogs play. It's like an outdoor stadium.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Now, what type of horn system, say, does Joe Louis Arena have?
They've got some of our it's our marine horns off of our
those
the boat horns.
Mm-hmm. Like those kind?
Yeah, whenever the Red Wings score a goal, they honk that one.
Now, do you have to go and install that, or you just send it to them and they do it themselves?
They installed on that one with the Atlanta Falcons. They commissioned us to do everything from start to finish, soup to nuts.
Did you go? Did you go and oversee that?
Yeah, six trips back and forth to Atlanta. Stopped at Magic City, the greatest strip club of all time, every day afterwards.
Where's Magic City? Is that in Atlanta?
It's in Atlanta. It's fantastic.
Why do you say it's the greatest strip club of all time?
Best chicken wings, most talented women, just a lot of culture.
A lot of NBA players go there, too.
Yeah, it's the spot.
Is it just strip club of all time?
Best chicken wings, most talented women, just a lot lot of culture.
I know, you just said that.
I know. Better than Cafe Risque?
Oh, yeah, totally different thing. The dancers there, they're just phenomenal. There it is.
That's Joe Louis Arena Red Wings.
Music to my ears.
That's awesome.
How much now they're running more than a couple 5-gallon Craftsman Willies, aren't they?
I don't know what they did. I don't know what they used for an air supply at the end of the day. We provided the horns for them.
What's the air supply for Atlanta?
They've got a large 80-gallon screw-driven compressor that we have offsite, and then it runs off to another 5-gallon staging tank. And
so the big industrial screw compressor is probably way in some mechanical room.
Uh-huh.
Then you pipe it. And then you have just a little touch-up deal closer to the horns.
Mm-hmm. That was it. Another reservoir.
Got it already engineered. Did you have to engineer all this and the whole and everything?
Yes, but there's not much to it really. The harder part was building building a bracket to make sure it doesn't fall down from. We had it up pretty high. It's like 200 feet high in the top of the stadium up there.
Here's the Atlanta Falcons horn. Man, they got some. You can tell they got a screw drive compressor. Man, they can go pretty long on that.
Solid.
And that's a completely different sound than the Joe Louis.
Totally.
That's a totally different sound.
They bought 3 horns from us. There's the one that they have hard mounted inside the arena. Then they bought one that they use for tailgating. It's out on like this like a stand that the fans themselves can go out and activate it and pull down on the cord and activate the horn and hear it. And then they have a third one that they bring on the road. So
Blitz is trying to come up with software where people can pledge a certain amount and the horn automatically goes off.
Nice.
No, I'm just kidding, but that would be a hell of an idea, Blitz. Like if you,
I could actually do that.
so Blitz, you could have like a little software gimmick where if somebody wanted to hit the fucking activate the horn, they throw the amount down and all of a sudden just out of nowhere it goes.
Yep.
And you shit your pants.
Bits for shits. Shits for bits.
Shits for bits. Now, do you have a horn on your boat?
I do, and I need to come up with a bigger, more permanent solution for the Tampa Bay Lightning parade last year. I put that big one, the Whistle and Diesel Battleship one, on there and was driving around. But I don't have enough clearance right now on the top of the boat to get under the bridges, depending on the tide. So I got to come up with a better
little more
location.
stealthy one.
Yeah.
Well, you know a guy that knows a guy how to do that shit.
That's it.
I mean, right now, could you build so you could build a better horn for your boat that you could get under the bridges that would be just as effective. You just haven't engineered it yet.
Correct.
What do you got on there now?
Just the one it came with, just a little 20-inch Willie. Nothing.
Man, the owner of the company's got a jobber horn system.
I got the boat for sale. I think I'm like we're talking
Are you going to
about.
Sell your boat?
I got the Lambo for sale. I got the boat for sale. I'm selling the jet skis.
Tough times are tough?
No, everything. I feel like there's got to be change coming. There's just too many world events happening.
Hold on now. What do you mean? Because I really want to pick your ear on this because you're so worldly and you got good instincts. So what the fuck you feeling?
He's buying barrels of food.
What are you feeling? Buddy?
Yeah, with food shortages, fuel prices where they're at, Ukraine stuff, political, social issues. It's like the perfect storm. There's so many things that would normally devastate the market, but yet market still goes up. And like we're somehow the world. I don't know if like the news is suppressing it. This administration keeps it all down. I don't know, but
you think some shit's about to go down.
There's so many things happening at once. There's no.
Should I start selling things? Everything?
Everything's high right now. In what world is buying a yacht or a Lamborghini a good investment? Whereas my car's worth more than I paid for it. The boat's worth more than I paid for it.
Which is rare.
Yeah. Never. Who would you ever think you could buy a car and make money on it? So it's the time to sell. I'm going to wait, and then when there's blood in the streets, I'll buy something even nicer than I have right now. And
for less.
Like I'm like 20,000 to the good on my truck. Would you be selling it right now?
If you don't sell it like literally right now, then it's over. Because it's like things like that. Now that gas is up so much, it's going to start going down.
You're right.
People are not going to want to have a truck.
Yeah, you're right.
It's going to be another couple months.
So the Lambo, when do you think this shitstorm hits, Matt?
It's
just in your gut.
I think it started 2 months ago, and I think it's still happening now. I think everything.
You're not selling your house, are you?
I never sell the real estate because I feel that's still going to go up.
But you sell the toys.
Toys.
You sell the toys.
Things I don't need.
So the boat and the Lambo, both for sale.
Yeah, everything's on Facebook Marketplace right now.
Right now.
Make offer. Motivated
really?
Sell. Yeah, I don't need the money.
Scares me.
I'm scared from myself too. I still have that new Horn Blasters building. I paid $3 million for it. I have
where you're at now, right?
Yeah, I still owe $2 million on it. And that's hanging over me.
Yeah, but you bought it right, and it's it probably appraises at 4.
When COVID happened in February or March of 2020, my sales, I'm used to X amount per day, and it went to 0. That's when I had to lay people off.
For real.
Yeah, it was completely, just screwed. I'm terrified of that happening again. I just don't like it hanging over my head.
Now, how are sales? I mean, I got to think that sales have been pretty damn good.
And that's another reason why I'm so worried, because they're
Matt
good.
Heller's the only guy that says sales are so goddamn good they can only go down. I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Totally, absolutely.
For real.
There's so many. We printed out all that that stimmy money last year.
Right.
I mean,
Yep.
I had the greatest year ever. I see what people are buying, and I see on my social media, I see other people I know and how they're living, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, it's not sustainable in my opinion.
There's no way.
I think I agree with you.
So I'm just scared.
Should people buy gold? Should they buy silver? Should they buy what should people like?
Well, you got to think most people see that like being responsible is not the right way to do it, because if you're not responsible, then they'll forgive your debts, they'll pay your loans, like no big deal. So now people are like, screw it, I'm just gonna go spend the money
you
I
can't
have.
get kicked out of a house you're renting.
Yep.
So.
You could just stay in a house forever and never pay rent. They'll just extend it. No
They'll
big
just
deal.
screw the guy that owns the mortgage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for blood in the streets. Currently, I just feel people are lending money with these low interest rates, overinflated assets. People are borrowing on other overinflated assets. The tech sector, the stock market,
crypto, fucking everything.
So much crazy
Fuel
stuff.
Prices.
I think the fuel is really going to mess people up as it catches up. With the food shortages are a legit thing. You see the prices
then what saves it? A regime change in 2 years, 2.5 years.
I don't know.
I mean, no, but like I'm just saying, like, do you think we're fucked long term, or do you think that
it has to cool off for a while? We've done everything we could with the economic, the fiscal easing and whatnot, and the low interest rates.
Yeah,
but we have to bring it in. Bring it in.
Is it
going
to be like an 06 or 08 bubble? Or is it going? I
Gonna be worse.
I think it's going to be worse, and it's going to be longer.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think, Matt?
I mean, according to Diddy Trump, it's gonna crash worse than we ever saw, and all this stuff. I mean, I don't know.
What becomes king at that point? Cash is king. Real estate's king.
Cash is good, but if we had with the inflation, 8% inflation, holding cash, we're losing money too.
Yeah.
So do you buy gold? Do you buy silver? Let's say a guy has $10,000 cash in his safe. What's he do with it? He can't hold the cash because he's losing money on the cash, is he not?
Yep.
Guns are good. Guns don't go down in value.
Do you like guns?
I love guns.
Oh, okay.
I don't shoot them because I'm lazy and I don't like cleaning them. But
okay.
Let's clean them. You get a cleaning fee.
Big
I don't like cleaning them either. But
yeah, big 2A guy. I love.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I just.
So what should a guy buy if he had 10? Let's say Lummy has 10,000 in a safe cash.
I'd say still hold the cash, even though that's going down, because there's going to be people who need cash.
What about precious metals like gold
if you buy
or
them
silver?
right? If you buy from a guy that's selling them because he needs money, then yeah. But if you're going to like a store, then probably then not.
Yeah, with gold, it's so up.
So
right
where
now.
do you buy gold and silver from?
The guy Milton Veray is the owner of that. I was talking to you guys about the bighorn, that float earlier.
Yeah, right.
The guy in Austin, he owns on Fox News when they go to commercial. They're like, buy silver, hedge the inflation.
Right.
That's this guy Milton's company, and he's balling. So I mean,
well, yeah.
So, but you can't really buy gold and silver right now because it's up so high.
Yeah.
That when gold and silver go back down to market, you're already down, on that, right?
I think hold the cash, or the stock market's scary.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I want to pay down my mortgage a little bit, and that's what's the sort of Damocles hanging over my head.
That big building's got you scared, doesn't it, buddy?
Terrifying. Yeah, terrible. Even the real estate taxes
But you're rich
alone.
as fuck, and you got equity in it, buddy.
I'm cash poor. I'm supposedly I'm wealthy on paper and in air horn inventory, but I have to sell all that stuff.
Sure.
So I mean,
is business still going pretty well right now?
We're open. It's cool, but I don't. I got $9,000 in my savings account.
You're worried that one day you're going to wake up and it's going to be COVID again and no sales.
Something,
Are you
yeah.
thinking about selling the business?
I wish. It's a wet dream. Just it'd be hard to find someone who would want to purchase it with the amount of litigation we go through, and why not just start their own thing?
Yeah.
So
you guys get sued all the time.
It happens. It's part of the part. You haven't made it till you're sued, and it's just part of it.
I've been on trial 4 times.
And all of them.
Think about that, Matt. Think of any. Now I know you get sued and all, but you've probably never been on trial in front of a jury, have you?
Always settle it out.
I've actually been on trial in front of a jury 4 times, and I'm 4-0.
Bona fide.
I mean,
that's awesome.
I mean, not a lot of people even see a fucking deposition, let alone a full-blown jury trial.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
Or most people settle, right? I mean, you're like, listen, Matt, here's the deal. You can write this chick a fucking $14,000 check and she goes away, or we can litigate it for 2 years and you can win and it'll cost you $140.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how it goes. I've had to do that before too. I've written some checks. Fuck.
If and when you sell, what would you do next?
Colombia.
Okay.
Even now I want to just cash out and just go to Bogota. I look at my expenses living here in Tampa between sometimes Uber Eats, gas, insurance, this and that, and I'm like, man, the cost of living we're getting. It's a great country. We have incredible liberties and whatnot, but it's expensive.
Well, for now.
He wants to go to. I brought that Colombian itch back to him. He wants there so bad.
I dream about it. It's fantastic. It's free. You're there and you can't hurt yourself spending money. You can order whatever you want at any restaurant. It's just
you're not getting gouged.
Nothing.
There is no bubble down there to really burst. The bubble burst years ago, right? I mean, like there's everything. So what now, Matt? Why can things there be so cheap, and the same thing costs so fucking much here? Like
the world has no clue how strong the American dollar is. When I'm in China and I'm eating breakfast for 12 cents American, like we're so numb. We spend so much money retail. There's secondary markets with things, and there's just cheaper goods. But America, the dollar is so darn strong. I mean, you can live anywhere else other than America with that dollar and get tremendous value.
That should be the new Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
Live somewhere stronger than here.
Yeah, everyone wants to come here.
True.
So,
but we should probably take an advantage that we are an American. Well, you didn't take your first breath here, Anna. Technically, you barely became an American.
Fuck? I have papers.
You have papers.
You got papers.
I got papers.
You're not
I'm
real.
American.
Your birth certificate say USA on it.
So I still have a passport.
No, well,
I'm an
that's
American
not
citizen.
Are you an American citizen?
Yes, motherfucker. You ask me this every fucking day. Yes.
Sure, the 18,000 people that just crossed today.
But how can a person that was born in Israel be an American citizen?
Yeah,
I was basically.
How does that work, Anna? Can you explain it to me?
Please explain it to all of us.
So I was basically like an American born abroad because my mom is an American. She took her first breath in L.A.
But your dad ain't.
My dad ain't. But
No.
when we came to the States, I was a citizen because my mom was. And then my dad
So you
became
basically got in on a technicality. We're real Americans. We didn't have to get a fucking technicality.
You're not a real American, and you're half African. You're half African American.
Mm-hmm. Which makes you cool as fuck.
Yeah.
We're not trying
you're
to.
quarter African American.
I'm not.
We're not trying to hate on you, bitch. And we're just saying you're not really like you ain't got as much American shit going on as we do.
Nope.
I've been here since I was like basically 2.
Okay, well we've been here since zero,
Yeah,
bitch.
0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We popped
I
out of the
basically just
badge.
had like a little sabbatical at the beginning of my life.
Yeah.
Well,
Too bad.
Yeah.
Matt, next time you go to Columbia, man, give me a heads up. I mean, would you take a friend?
Yes.
I mean, I'll pay for
He's
myself.
taken Mike Busey. Didn't you tell me?
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I took Busey down there for a week.
How did Mike like it?
Oh man, he lost
Because
his
I'm
mind.
built like him.
It was his first time out of the country.
He's a little taller.
God bless him. He was so nervous. Mike spent $20,000, which is a lifetime of money in
Why
Colombia.
would you spend when you could have spent $2,000?
He
Right?
was just a mark. I love him. God bless him. He was just getting hosed, and it was still.
Weren't you there to guide him?
And I tried.
I mean, were you like, hey, Busey, listen, I've been here 400 times. I know how to do this. Chill the fuck out. You're giving him too much money.
Put your money away. Put
Stop
your
making
wallet
it
away.
rain in the
Stop.
bakery. What's wrong with you?
Making it rain at the bakery.
Mike,
Is that what he was doing, though, Matt? Just going fucking crazy.
Obviously, you've never
he
seen a
was,
baker
and he
twerking.
hired like a travel agency company that drove us around in Sprinter vans. And I'm like, bro, we don't need this. That's too much attention. You
Right.
pull up in a Sprinter van. Now you're marked. I'm
Yep.
like, you don't want any of this. So, but God bless him. I'm
Pull
trying.
up in a nice Sprinter van, everything goes up 30%.
Right.
Yeah.
That, $2.99 fucking steak that
Yeah,
you got is
$10.
now $29.95.
Yeah, exactly.
We rolled down there 22 people deep, though. So I mean, it was impossible to
So
go
it was
anywhere.
a spectacle in itself.
Yes, and him and his gang. It's a very motley crew, so they didn't really.
They probably knew that this white trash
London's-
Americans were here, right? Did he get a ton of good content?
He did. It was awesome. But then there was these shitty pimps that were trying to shake him down after the fact, and it was just it was a mess.
Did you have to get him out of there? Did you barely get him out alive, or
Yeah,
was it sketch?
The thing is, just don't bring money and don't attract
All
attention.
right, when you go down there, let's say we were to go down there for 5 days, maybe a week. What would you bring? $2,000?
The first time I went, I was there for 10 days. I brought $1,000 cash. I did everything a person could do. On day 4, I got a little lonely, so I flew my brother Chris out to hang out with me. Then now there's 2 of us doing everything we could do. We spent $400 for both of us, going crazy
For a week, you said?
for 10 days.
10 days,
going insane.
2 dudes, $1,000, and you had enough money to make it home.
Yeah.
For real.
Yes. The hottest girl you've ever seen, you can sleep with her for $15.
You got $15, Bubs.
I do.
Hell yeah.
You're saying a
He's gonna
10,
bring
a
30 down there and
straight
party.
10, a straight 10 on the 10 scale for 15.
Yeah, 15.
And now,
bucks.
can you tell her to come back tomorrow too?
They'll do whatever you do or
Will
don't.
she
No
wash will she
problema.
cut my toenails and wash my feet?
Whatever you're into.
Okay. I'm not really into that, but that's just, if you can get a girl to do that for you.
Hey, Matt, for real, let's go to Columbia. What are you doing tomorrow, buddy?
Hey, Matt, thanks for being on the show. What about that Columbia deal?
Can we go right now?
Was that
Won't you
radio?
call me Pappy?
Was that radio, Matt, or can we really go? For real?
It's legit. Yeah. Like I said, a lot of people go to that Cartagena, which I don't like. It's too hot. And Medellin is too hot. Bogota is where it's at. That's the...
And can we get like a little two-bedroom penthouse deal?
Yeah.
I pay halvesies.
Regular hotels like $20 a night. You want a really great hotel, maybe 24, 25.
I want to. hold on, Matt. I mean, like, what would 100?
Matt, I got
what would
24
100 a night get us?
For 80, you can stay at the 5-star at the top of the line.
Is that multiple bedrooms? Like I have a room, you got a room?
It's its own bathtub, separate thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
80 a night.
Legit.
Fuck. What's a good time to go? Probably towards the end of the year when it's not so hot.
It's the same all the time because of the elevation. It's always
Look
62
at
degrees.
this.
Blitz.
Tampa, Florida to Bogota, Colombia for 242 round trip, November to February date.
How can it be that I'm paying like $350 to go to Indiana in July? And
That's the same thing about, hold on, we were going to go to the Keys and ended up going to Denver because it was cheaper to fly out to Denver than it was to fly down to the Keys.
How can it be cheaper to fly to another fucking country than to go to Indiana?
Just no one wants. A lot of people are afraid to go.
Yeah, that's just it too.
Now, Matt, here's the thing. I got anxiety. How long a flight is it?
3 hours.
Oh, okay. I can
That's
handle
not bad
that.
at all.
I just sent you the link, Bubs.
I can handle that.
Yeah. It's great. It's super safe.
Now, what about weed? What if we need to get a little weed? You know what I mean? Let's just be
Oh, yeah,
honest.
watch out for devil's breath. Isn't that a problem over there?
No, you look for it. and you can't find-
Scopolamine?
I bought a
And
pound.
you don't want to get caught with it because they'll kill you, won't they?
I invested and bought a pound when I was living there the first week.
Okay, so what'd you do on week 2 then?
More experimenting, cooking with it. It was $100.
But you know where for a pound.
for a pound
$100
a week.
pound.
So
Yeah.
you know the right
Let's go
person.
to Columbia.
Anyone is the right person. Any cab driver, any Uber driver, or you go to the zone of tolerance. There's other things for $1 a gram.
Anna's on board. Anna's on board.
The place is insane.
You rang.
But you get burnt out on it after a while, and you're just like, all right, that's cool. I got all this out of my system.
Right.
It's whatever. I was cooking with the weed, and I was like dosing. I told you I had those like door guys, the porteros.
Yeah.
And I was like sharing all my baked goods with them and
Now
whatnot.
what if the door guys? What if you give them like 3, 4, 5? Maybe you give them a $5 every day just as a tip. I mean, are they?
That's too much money. That'll ruin them. You gotta. I would just share food with them, which they were very happy with because I'd get a lot of Uber
Boy,
Eats.
Matt's a real miser, man. He really fucking he doesn't want to overpay anybody because you ruin
And
him,
they
right,
expect
Matt?
Yeah, it messes up the balance.
It
of
messes
things.
up the whole ecological fucking system, doesn't
He's
it?
right, though.
He probably is.
Yeah. So I just share my food with them, and they were like so happy.
Bring him some leftovers.
Totally,
and they're
yeah,
happy as fuck, right?
Send it down in the elevator. You just like press the button in the elevator, put the food in there, and then it goes down to the lobby. And
Ding, and they're like, oh
oh my
Mr.
gosh,
Mahaler.
yeah, this is incredible.
His leftover T-bone. What a nice guy.
Yeah, I'd get like an entire fillet, and they'd just never even had that piece of the meat, that cut of the meat before, and they're like, what kind of steak is this? Like, what is this?
It's a good part.
Yeah, it's just a different place, man. Everyone's very humble, very kind, appreciative. I was getting haircuts, and there's a beard barber downstairs, so I just get like a trim every day. It was $1, and they'd spend 45 minutes cutting my hair for the $1.
So your shit was dialed in, your eyebrows, you fucking
Everything.
look like a rock star.
Perfect. Go get massages.
Now, did you cut your hair?
No, it's up. I just have it up right now.
Oh, you got it man bunned up?
Yeah, I was getting mani-pedis like constantly, just out of boredom. There's just nothing else to do down there.
Spend money.
Go to the zoo, but you couldn't. You just can't spend the money. It's like Brewster's Millions. You just can't get rid of
Can't
it.
get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a certain amount of things you can spend money on. If once you got your drugs and your bitches and your food and your housing, what else do you need?
Nothing.
I mean, you can't even go to the zoo.
Yeah. I was sitting around watching
Bored.
The Wire reruns all day in my.
Would you have a girl come over and watch with you? Or
tons. Yeah, I had all kinds of friends. It was.
Did you look like
awesome.
Matt Balzerian over there, kind of?
No. Oh, Dan.
Now, how is Dan? Is your friend? Is he not?
I met
before.
Dan years ago, way before the beard. My brother Chris went to Florida State. Dan's brother went to Florida State. We got invited to a Super Bowl party out in Avila at this mansion, and this nice guy, hey, I'm Dan. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the house. Fast forward, here we are. My other best friend Shane, he went to college with Dan in Gainesville, and they're real close. So I went to a couple of the parties when Dan had that big house out in Bel Air a couple years ago.
With the goats.
With the goats and all that.
Now, what about when they say that he's not doing as good as he says he was, and a lot of this is smoke and mirrors and stuff like that?
It's a delicate dance, and I shouldn't speak on it. But
I'm not asking you to say a bad word.
He had that stock. The Ignite was a stock that they put out on the Canadian exchange, and all these kids in Saudi Arabia own a ton of it because they're just like, Dan Bilzerian, #1 superstar. So everyone. Yeah.
He is like Arab or like, illustrates that kind of wealth where it's like he has like pet cheetahs and shit, like stupid, oil money
he's
kind of
killing
wealth.
it. I mean, with his dad, Paul, and all the money, I mean, they're just, they've turned it into a heck of a thing.
Is he still based out of California?
He's in Vegas now. He's got a absolutely sick house in Vegas. Hop into the new place.
Are you going? Are you ever going to go?
I'm down. Yeah, I go out there for SEMA. That's usually when I see Dan.
He might know who I am just because I think he might have been in high school when I was rolling hard on the Power Pig or 98 Rock. What years was he in Tampa?
He grew up here.
Yeah.
He would have.
Oh, he would know who Bubba the
And you guys are about the
Love
same age. Like he's like about 40.
Yeah, he's a year younger.
I mean,
than
Matt,
me.
anybody growing up in Tampa your age, I think knows who I am just because.
100%.
Matt Heller is the one that told me this. And I've used it since, but back in the day, and I say this humbly, and I don't say it narcissistically, and Matt's the one that told it to me. But back in the day, before social media, within Tampa, my show was kind of social media.
Yeah.
Where the hot strippers were, what parties were going, what clubs were going at, you had to listen to my show to know all that stuff before you could, before social media was kind of around.
For sure.
Yeah, totally. It was the clubhouse that was hanging out, knowing where to be, who's in town, or what's going on, where you want to be, what concerts are going, everything.
And then the bitches, everybody's always like the bitches, Lesbian Tuesdays, and all the strippers that we had on, and just all the stuff. Oh my Lord.
Dan Bilzerian actually went to a Mike Busey party back in the day when it was Sausage Castle 6, and he showed up to like one of the Halloween parties, and
before he blew up, right?
Yeah. So
how is Busey doing? He's killing it too, is he not?
Living the friggin' dream, man. It has been such an honor just to watch him and to what he's turned his life into. And he had Bam Margera over there just yesterday hanging out.
Where's it? It's like in the middle of nowhere. Is it north of Orlando?
Yeah, northwest of Orlando, Astatula, Florida. He's got an 80-acre compound. For those of you who don't know, MikeBusey.com. Snapchat in 2017 changed his whole life. Finally, he had a platform that he wouldn't get kicked off of for showing a nipple or something like that. He started his own private Snapchat. It's a secret snap where you pay $1 a day and you get access to like the raw, uncut.
What's really happening over there at the place, right?
Yeah. He's got this house with 20 strippers living in it, and there's just natural drama there.
I need to meet that guy.
He's great. Anytime you want to go up there, any of you guys, I'd love to bring you guys up.
And that's Gary Busey's younger brother, isn't it?
Yeah, no relation. He's no relation.
I thought he was.
They're friends. They look alike, strikingly similar, and he's best friends with Electra, which is Gary's actual daughter. But Mike's just a really awesome, humble beginnings. Came from the ground up.
Where did he? Where was he? Is he a Floridian? Is he from here?
He was born in Texas, and he's been in Central Florida most of his life. He went to Florida Christian College. He got kicked out of there for having a cross earring, and they're saying that's not very godly. And just since then, he's just been kind of living.
He showed them.
Yeah, he's just living on his own terms. He's still.
I'll show you about
Yeah, if
godliness.
you're going to say about not being godly, wait till you see this.
But like the first couple places he got kicked out of, and the cops, it was like a real shitstorm for a while, wasn't it?
Oh, totally. He had helicopters.
It's always a shitstorm.
Yeah, he had choppers flying overhead. He got a couple of evictions. There was one of the houses burned down mysteriously. He's gone through it all, but persevered and just stayed consistent.
But I think he finally. He bought this place, right? Like some of the places he was renting and stuff like that. But I think he actually owns this place.
Yeah. This is all his. He was going to move in with me into the Burt Reynolds house at one point.
For real?
Yeah. Before he found this place, he was just like, "Hey man, we could do this. We could put the cheetah print on the wall here." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Mike, I love you. You're my best."
A little too much overstimulation from conservative Matt Heller.
Yeah, I was like, "Mike, you're my best friend. I love you, but I really enjoy my privacy. So if we could, I think we'd be better off doing our own thing, man." And then he found this place magically, and it's been awesome.
You're kind of like the Elon Musk of Tampa Bay, don't you think? You're kind of like the Elon. You're very, very centered. You're very grounded. You're very, financially conscious. You're just, you're Matt Heller, ladies and gentlemen. You're world famous.
Thanks, man.
I hope that I got to one of these days get on one of your boats.
Yes, anytime.
Get some of these Instagram models.
Yeah, we got to go visit Busey too. I'd love to go see the sausage
castle. Are these Instagram models, these really highfalutin Tampa ones, are they cool, or do they know that they're hot? They're hot shit.
It depends. It depends. If depends who they're rolling with and who they've been with and what kind of exposure. Everyone gets corrupted after.
Yeah,
after 50,000 followers, it's all downhill.
I got corrupted. I got corrupted. I'm just trying to get back. I'm trying to get back to the corrupted scene. Oh. Anyway, Matt, I can't thank you enough for coming in. I told Anna, I'd be like, man, I'd love just to do kind of like a in-depth Matt
he's
Heller.
got a great story, come up story, and
more.
life history.
And he's very worldly. He's very, very, far more worldly than you would think. What are you, Matt, 39? 40? Yeah. You freaking out on that a little bit too?
I was, but it's cool. You know what? It changed Bumble and Tinder. No one is searching for a 40-year-old. No one
really.
It's slim pickings with the online dating.
Well, you can lie. I mean, you look 34, 35.
They base it off your Facebook age. It's like it's age. So there's no.
And you can only change it like
Matt,
once.
I got to think that you still kill it. I got to think that on Bumble and Tinder, I think you still kill it, bud. I think you're being very humble and the killing of ass, to be honest with you.
It's a slightly different though now. So
where's the hot spot for ass in Tampa? Now I used to know all
on
this
his
stuff.
fucking boat.
Yeah, what night? It depends on what day of the week.
For real? How about Fridays?
So I don't like we were saying. I don't go out on the weekends too much.
Right.
I like Mandarin Heights over in Seminole Heights. It's really good. Great espresso martini.
Is that the place with the tub?
Yes.
Yeah,
with the tub.
That's cool.
Yeah, with the
I've been there.
green wall.
Yeah,
it's just like a regular club.
No, it's kind of like a speakeasy vibe. It's the same folks that own the Trophy Fish and that bodega place over in St. Pete. Yeah. It's nice. It's not pretentious. All the drinks are $10, which is a lot, but it's not a lot compared to like South Tampa, you know, at a meat market spending $25 for a cocktail.
Yeah. Right.
So I like.
And what other place you like?
Seminole Heights. Ybor is still fun.
Where in Ybor does Matt Heller roll?
I like the Bad Monkey's great. I go to the amphitheater a bunch.
Rock Brothers.
First Chance, Last Chance.
Bad Monkey's where we had the bar party 2 years ago.
Yeah, I like that little joint. Little hole in the wall.
They love you, Bubba.
I like that
the
place.
The owner likes you.
Yeah, that's General David Scott. He's a full 5-star general. He was my partner when I was a partner in the Laughing Cat restaurant in Ybor. And
that place was good.
It was so much fun. I lost every plate of pasta I sold probably cost me $1,000. My partners were jerks.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I can tell you about the restaurant business. All right, I can. Planet Bubba, Bubba's Ale House. It's all a fucking, you don't want to own a restaurant. That's the worst financial shit you can ever do.
Yeah.
Am I not right? It's great walking in and being the man and getting fucking VIP because you own the joint, but fuck.
Yeah.
They'll steal you blind, will they not?
Huge mistake. Yeah. Great for personal vanity. Horrible idea.
What
Horrible
about strip
business.
clubs in town? Like, what is it? Is Dollhouse still king?
Yes, Dollhouse is the classiest, prettiest girls. If they're 5 pounds over, Mons and Dollhouse have the hottest chicks, but you can't drink at Mons.
So that puts you at Dollhouse.
Is it because it's full nude?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dollhouse is awesome. They have the hottest chicks.
How about Penthouse? Have they made a little bit of
Penthouse is fun. They're trying to be like the 11 of Miami, but it gets all these like, I don't know, kind of like wannabe gangbanger gangsters in there.
Yeah. Whereas Warren still runs a pretty tight who's getting the fuck in ship on Dollhouse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Dollhouse, Warren's the man. Penthouse, because they play rap music. That's what changes in. So it brings in, because they have a fun
different
DJ.
crowd.
It's a different crowd, yeah. But yeah, Warren, Dollhouse, awesome. Always great hospitality there. Great folks.
Matt Heller, my friend, I can't thank you enough. God, we went 2 hours and 10 minutes on just fucking going through the Matt Heller timeline, and there's another fucking 3 or 4 hours if we really wanted to get into it. Matt, I can't thank you enough for all that you've done for me and the horns, and you're just such a good friend and always so very positive and so nice. And it's just, I don't know if anybody doesn't like Matt Heller, then it's probably, you might want to look in the mirror. It's probably you, because this is probably one of the coolest cats around. Like, he's so nice.
And thank you for putting in a good word before I started working here.
Of course.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
He's like, Anna won't steal anything.
I said, hey, what do you think about her? And he goes, little weird, but a good person.
Won't steal your shit.
I was like, okay. And that's what you are, Anna. You're a little weird. Actually, a lot.
Yeah.
but you're getting more, and now that you're getting some D,
Okay.
you're getting a little bit more. You know, you got a
Normal?
better. Well, you got a different glow to you.
Oh,
Thank you,
thank you.
Blitz.
I thought it
Matt,
was
do
the
you,
Botox.
Matt, do you feel a little different vibe on her a little bit?
She's calm. It's good. Yeah, she's very.
Yeah, she is.
Less
And we have to
squirrely.
thank Blitz for that too. 'Cause
Yeah,
thank you,
yeah,
Blitz.
you're
Thank you,
welcome.
Blitz.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Blitz is throwing
for
her,
everything.
large amounts of
Fucking
D.
does.
Yeah.
Thanks,
And-
Blitz. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Hanging 9 soft, according to that parody.
That's right.
That's why they call it a parody.
Anna,
Yeah.
Anna, just think, man, you used to go from like getting
Yeah, let's
no
think
D.
about the past.
Yeah.
And
Who
now
do I
you're
have to
just-
thank? You.
Blitz is D.
Thank
Me.
you. Everybody
Thank
but
me
myself. You're right.
You didn't have shit to do with any of
Nope.
this.
Nope. I
It's
had
all
nothing.
Blitz.
I had
be-
nothing to do with
You
it.
wouldn't be shit if it wasn't for me.
That's true.
Matt, you told me to keep him down, right? You got to keep her down a little bit.
two great people. It's awesome to.
No,
to see that.
I actually, Anna, you have been such a great addition to the show, and
you.
are like our little sister. And
Well,
but
hopefully
Speak for
Blitz doesn't
yourself.
feel that
Yeah,
way.
speak for yourself.
our little
fucking
sisters
weird.
that our buddies fucking.
Yeah.
We're always rooting for our buddies to fuck, hot chicks. So
Hell yeah.
anyway, Anna, you've been great, and I never even knew. I've known Matt, I think, way before you even started working for him. When's the first time I met you, Matt?
Probably at one of your Christmas parties.
Oh yeah, like at Sip or Scene or one of those
See,
deals.
God, those were incredible friggin' parties.
Me and
man.
Fabrice
Holy
had.
shit.
No, we never lost money on clubs. We just lost money on restaurants.
Man, those were so much fun. Those
Owning
live
a club
events.
is cool.
Yeah.
You get a lot of pussy that way.
That's. I was dating that Nona chick. That's who I came in. I would bring her to your holiday parties. And such.
Really?
Yeah. That was it. Man, that was cool. Those were great times.
Matt Heller, man, thank you so very much for coming in and hanging out with us. And maybe if you can tag us on your Instagram so we can get
He
like
always
a little
does.
bit
He's
of
good
Matt,
about that.
Matt Heller rub.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
So
I'm
we
gonna
can get an extra 8 people.
repost all this everywhere. Yeah.
Matt, hornblasters.com for any of your horn needs. I got a big truck show on the 2nd and the 3rd. I'm sure that all of those trucks.
Was it called the Firecracker or something or other?
Yeah, Candace knows, my GM up there. They're into that truck shit. Her husband's got like this really badass customized truck, and I didn't know that customized truck world is huge. But Matt, that's probably a lion's share of your business, is it not?
Yeah, totally. It's all guys that have jobs and they're
And badass trucks.
yeah.
And the Atlanta Falcons. What else you fucking need?
That's it.
Well, hopefully you don't sell your boat too soon before I get on it.
Yeah, let's get you guys whenever you guys want. I'll take you all whenever, and
Awesome.
let's go to
Fuck all
Columbia.
these guys. I want all the Instagram to fuck Anna and fuck Blitz and fuck Lummy. It's just me and you, buddy, with the Instagram girls.
Let's set it up. Weekdays are best for me, but yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
But I mean, when do you depart and when do you get back?
I check the tides and then I go on Instagram and I just put up just a post. Hey, who wants to go boating on Friday? And tap in now, and then create my list, and that's it. And then everyone just-
And like what time do you guys usually? I know that it's according to tides, but usually what time do you usually leave?
if I go too early, the girls don't show up. So
Right.
usually 1 to 2 o'clock or so.
Okay, I can do that easy, especially on a Friday.
Yeah.
2 o'clock and back by what? 9, 8?
Oh no, probably 5 or 6.
That's it?
Yeah,
That's grandpa hours, just like me,
Yeah.
buddy.
You can
That's
take your
absolutely
pill when you're on
fucking
your way
perfect.
back in.
yeah,
And you got to tape the whole thing, Bub's content.
yeah, totally.
I will if Matt lets me or they let me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I got cameras on the boat too for surveillance, as we were saying as well.
Surveillance.
Busey came out a couple months ago. He had the time of his life.
Oh, I bet he did.
Yeah, he loved it.
I'm the Busey of Tampa a little bit, except less the tats. But Matt Heller, we love you, my friend, and
You're the OG goat, sir.
we got to have you in here more often. And I just can't thank you enough for all the great things that you've done for me and that you continue to do for us. And it's really, really refreshing to see a good guy on top. A lot of times the people on top are fucking cutthroat, inherited it or, whatever. And fucking Matt Heller has scraped for every bit of success that he's gotten. And if you know somebody that says a bad word about it, Matt Heller, chances are it's them, because this is the coolest cat around. So, Matt, we love you, my friend, and good luck to you, bud. And I look forward to being on your boat. More importantly, I look forward to going to, is it Bogota we're going?
Yes.
Bogota.
Yes, please.
Bogota. Lummy, you probably wouldn't be allowed to go to Bogota, will you?
No,
Yeah.
probably not.
It's a work event. You have
Blitz,
to come,
I don't think
sir.
that Anna's going to be letting you go into Bogota.
Why can't I go?
You guys can.
Because the altitude 6,000 feet. You can't go.
Anna,
Oh, I'll get used to it.
You get altitude sickness.
Anna, you're the last person we're bringing.
Why?
There's couples things. Everyone can do stuff together.
Yay!
Matt, we're not bringing fucking her to Bogota.
Why? I'm
Red
fun.
flag.
No.
I'll have a great time.
You're not into the same shit that Matt and I are going to be into.
I like food and stuff.
It's the stuff part on it that you're not going to lie. Matt Heller, man, thank you so much.
Love you, man. Thanks for having me on.
Love
man.
you, buddy. We will see you guys tomorrow. Lumby, you got a show today or anything going on?
Yeah, at 4 o'clock. Me and Brian.
4 o'clock. All right. You a sports show?
Yep.
Perfect.